neighbors on this day. All hands not on the Argo deck. Skipper John Heward, faced with mutiny, has abandoned the boat. Offense! Look who's here to right the ship. The rudder goes to pinball.
We're going to play with emotion, but as you know, emotion does not equate to success. You have to be competent at this game.
To play at this game, just ask Archie. He comes out of the Hamilton backfield, and Archie Amerson roars to the midway point with 642 receiving yards. Just a few shy of last year's total. Safe to say he's one tickled tabby.
It feels great, you know. If you're a competitor, you like to compete. You want the ball to be in your hands every play if you can have it every play, and that's just how I am. But you know you can't get it every play, so I like how much I'm getting in there.
Second life as a cat for top Canadian Mike O'Shea. Hamilton's gain. Toronto's got Tiggle to smooth the waters up the middle. Labor Day the Canadian way. The Cats come back, ready to play. There's something about September that just says football in the Steel City, the old stadium, and the Classic, as the Toronto Argonauts travel to Hamilton for the first time this season to take on the Tiger Cats. The fans in the stands, faithful would be a good word for them, sold out 28,000 plus in terms of tickets all over the Golden Horseshoe. Most of them will be sporting gold and black as opposed to double blue this afternoon. And there's the logo at the 55-yard line. We are center field at Iverwin Stadium. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Labor Day Classic. Scott Russell, the CFL on CBC. The Argos and Tiger Cats. It's an age-old rivalry. This one is fierce. I'll tell you what, the Argos are 1-6-1, but there's talk of renewal because Pinball Clemens is the coach. As for the Tiger Cats, they're back strong, 5-3, just back of Montreal in the Eastern Conference of the CFL. We've got plenty to talk about this afternoon as the Argos take on the Tiger Cats in this big game. Right now, up to the booth. Here's Mark Lee, Chris Walby.
Thanks a lot, Scott. It's great to be back at the halfway pole, and Labor Day always brings out the biggest crowds, brings out the best in football, and a game of football doesn't come much tougher than a game in Iverwin.
Hey, can you smell it? Football is in the air. Why? It's sold out all across Canada, but because today marks the start of the real football season, and Mark, nobody is really out of the playoff picture yet.
Now for the Argos, Coach Clemens, Pinball, whatever you want to call him, he is the coach. He's also playing, and he may be the only Argo they like in these parts. This is what we saw on the drive-in on Main Street outside Ryerson United Church. Beat the Argos, but be kind to Pinball.
Well, you never think you'd see that in your enemy territory, but the guy is unbelievable. So well liked. Look at him here. I mean, these future wannabe Tie Cats, they're just embracing Pinball right there. It just tells you that not only is he a great football person, he is a great person. Wally Highsmith, obviously, on their side, the interim head coach, will make some decisions today, but Pinball has said he will make some crucial ones as well.
He will, and one of the big decisions he made this week is to make Jimmy Kemp his starting quarterback and to let him call his own plays for the first time this season.
Hey, you're Jimmy Kemp. You wake up after that debacle in BC last week. All of a sudden, you find out, hey, not only are you calling your own plays, but now you find out you're starting a week ahead of time. You gotta love that. He says, I will control the situation now. No longer have to wait for the plays to be shuffled in, wasting valuable time. I get to the line of scrimmage, make any adjustments I have to, and hopefully make plays more successful.
Backing him up, cut from the Bombers, signed by the Argos this week, Kerwin Bell. He'll also be a consultant to the offense.
Kerwin the Cat Bell always lands on his feet. Here's a guy not out of work long, finds a great job coming back to the Boatman, as you say, as an offensive coordinator, but if need be, will play quarterback today.
All right, let's talk about the Tiger Cats, specifically Archie Amerson, having a career year as a receiver.
Oh, unbelievable. I mean, we always talk about Darren Flutie, but Archie Amerson is the guy that is really starting to hurt defenses around the league. 98, 703 yards, 750 yards rushing. I mean, the nice thing, but look at him right now in passing yards. 642 already halfway point of this year.
Okay, let's look at your game notes.
Well, I tell you what, simple. If I'm Toronto, I'm going to take a page out of the Winnipeg playbook. Spread the defense out, use a 5 and 6 receiver pack. On defense, tackle, tackle, tackle. I mean, they were atrocious last week in Vancouver. If I'm Hamilton, get the big boy Ronald Williams involved in the running attack. And for the love of Pinball, get out there, slap him back to reality.
Sounds like you're ready to play football.
Let's get it on, baby.
All right, Argos and Tie Cats, game one of our Labor Day doubleheader. Down to Scott.
Thanks very much, Mark, and watch for Danny McManus with 2 completions. He ties Tom Burgess on the CFL's all-time list. Don't you love Tiger Cats, man? There's Steve Paikin of TV Ontario. This is going to be a good game between the Tiger Cats and the Argonauts. And remember, on Labor Day, there's a second half of the Classic out in Calgary at McMahon Stadium. The Edmonton Eskimos, 5-3, are chasing the Calgary Stampeders. Chris Cuthbert, Glenn Suter, and Steve Armitage are there for that game between the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Eskimos. Here at Ivor Wynne, sold-out crowd. They said it was going to be 22 degrees and nice and calm, sunny. Well, it's football weather. It's a little bit breezy. This one's a little bit chilly because fall is in the air, and we're here on Labor Day for the Argos and Tiger Cats. Up to the booth for the kickoff. Here are Chris and Mark. Go, guys.
Thanks again, Scott, and all the talk about the pinball this week, taking over as head coach. Don't forget this man, Ron Lancaster, who knows what it's like to be in the pin shoes. He took over in 1979 as head coach in Saskatchewan after being the quarterback there. 2 seasons of 4-28 record before being fired. Came back a decade later after being in the broadcast booth with CBC and has become one of the most venerable and successful head coaches in the league with 2 Grey Cup champions.
Well, I think it was his work up here in the booth that allowed him to see the game as it really is, and that is why he is so successful now as the head coach of Hamilton.
So Ron Lancaster in 2nd place right now with the Tiger Cats, 3 points back of the Montreal Alouettes. A big win needed today. On the Argo bench, there's Wally Highsmith, 13-year veteran of the CFL as a defensive lineman, was a head coach in the United States, and was an assistant coach at Concordia University, but he'll be the interim man here today.
Well, most definitely, and that is the head coach right there, Mike Pinball Clemens. And we showed Wally Highsmith earlier, and he yesterday at the press conference made that, said, I am not the head coach. Mike Pinball Clemens is the head coach. I'm just interim. I'm just going to help him out today, and that's what it's all about.
Well, the pinball was saying it was a very disorganized week for him. He was distracted trying to do both jobs, be the coach, work on his roster, and also be a player on this team. And he said it actually has tainted his enthusiasm, his preparations for this big Labor Day game. Noel Prefontaine will kick it off for the Argos here on Labor Day. The Argos won the toss. They've deferred to the second half. Into a gusty wind. It's a low kick, bouncing at the 30-yard line. Picked up by Archie Emerson at the 25. He's got a block on the seam and finally brought down across the 40. Good field position for the Tiger Cats. And out on the field now to lead them at quarterback, Danny McManus, the leading passer in the CFL right now with 2,547 yards. Also #1 in completions with 163. But also leading the league in interceptions with 15.
And he threw for almost 350 yards last week, and talking to him, he's not happy about the game he played, and that is only because they lost last week.
McManus will go to work at his own 43. One man in the backfield, that's Ronald Williams. He'll pitch it to Williams right. Good pursuit by the Argo defense, but he breaks a tackle and rumbles up close to the 45-yard line.
Well, nice job of Toronto's defense stringing that out, taking away the big man Ronald Williams, trying to find the corner right there. Excellent job of pursuit, and that's what they got. They got a lot of quick people. But let's talk about the Hamilton offense. Danny McManus, Ronald Williams, of course, the great receiving core, Corey Grant, Greg on the outside, Flutie Moriali inside, and that big offensive line that just got stronger with the addition of Seth Dittman, recently released from Minnesota and the NFL.
Oh, the pass right in the hands of Ronald Williams and out. There's a flag on the play. Yes, with Seth Dittman back in the lineup, 4/5 of that offensive line in the Grey Cup last year with the champions back together again.
Well, not only him, but they also got that big Gary Brown, 4th game, 6'4", 330 pounds, and they're a little shy on that one.
Here's the call from Ken Lazarus.
Offside, Toronto, number 91. Second down repeated.
So Tyrone Rogers is offside. Second down repeated for the Argos. It'll be about 2nd and 2 at the 50-yard line of the Tiger Cats. The Cats trying to get a ground game going. That's one of the weak spots of this team. Rated 7th in rushing in the CFL. McManus over the ball at center. Will give again to Ronald Williams, right side. Williams tripped up very close, but it looks like he may be just shy of the first down marker.
Well, just a nice job of Fred Perry and Glenn Young, who's getting that start today at linebacker, of penetrating through the offensive line and bringing him down short. I mean, this is a real enthusiastic unbridled Argonaut defense right now who just say, hey, we're going to take it to you. They're playing smash mouth football right off the bat, and they have to do that to be successful.
They're short by about half a yard. So the Cats have their short yardage offense in and will go for it on 3rd down. On their first series of this Labor Day Classic, they will gamble. Tiggle, the ex-Tiger Cat, in the middle for the Argos. McManus will sneak, takes a good shot in the middle, but he may have it. Wayne Shaw, the Argos, says they don't have it.
Well, that big offensive line really got off the ball and moved them back initially. And then the Argonaut defense came back and pounded him. You can see getting underneath Roger Dunbrack, getting pushed back. Capers comes over the top, lays a little lick on McManus, a little late there, but all too little as Hamilton does indeed pick up the 1st down.
Ball spotted at the Hamilton 53-yard line. McManus staying on the ground here in this first series. A wrinkle in their offensive attack, which has mainly been in the air so far this season. McManus will now pass in the shotgun. Far side, Morreale's open. Can't get it, and he takes a big hit from Bonner.
Well, he had him open initially. Morreale going down the left side of the field. But the thing is, when you're playing in the wind, Danny Mac tries to touch the football. As a result, the wind carries it, keeps it up a little bit, allows Antonius Bonner to come over and make a play, disrupting the catch.
Bonner with 3 interceptions, the leading ball hawk on this Argo defensive secondary. No changes in the starting lineup for the Argos on defense. Some continuity going into this Labor Day Classic for a team that's in turmoil. 2nd and 10. McManus, empty backfield. Across the middle. Ball is incomplete to Griggs. He's appealing for a flag. Vernon Mitchell appeared to have made contact before he touched the ball.
Well, I just think that's just great timing. The ball was there. Vernon Mitchell, obviously, if you're playing in your home park, the fans want a penalty. But number 6, Vernon Mitchell, lays a licking over the middle right there.
I don't know, that looked questionable.
Much to the dismay of head coach Ron Lancaster. But I tell you right now, Chris, we are really getting a lot of emotion out of this Argonaut defense.
Well, as we mentioned, as Osbaldson gets set to punt, the Argos won the toss, decided to put their defense on the field first, and they are setting the tone for the Argos. Osbaldson, spiral taken by Tyrone Brown at his own 12, going wide side. Good pursuit by the Tiger Cats, and he's drilled down by Willie Fells at about the 20-yard line. Tyrone Brown caught in week 3, back with the Argos on Labor Day. No score at the Labor Day Classic here at Ivor Wynne. The Argos and Ticats early here in the first quarter. Wally Highsmith's defense has come up big on that first offensive series against the Tiger Cats. And this was the big play to break it up.
Well, I tell you, just a great job of safety. Vernon Mitchell coming over there and just catching the receiver as he comes over the middle. Now, in Hamilton, the fans are going to boo. They look pretty close right there. Wally Highsmith, as you say, very enthusiastic about the way his defense is reacting early on in this football game.
Hard to tell from that back angle, but it did look as though Vernon Mitchell made contact early on Gray. Jimmy Kemp gets the start here for the Argos, calling his own plays, and will begin with an empty backfield. 6 receivers. The crowd roaring here at Ivor Wynne. Kemp in the shotgun. Far side, wide open is Tyrone Brown. One move. Finally, hogtied at about the 24-yard line. Tyrone Brown cut week 3 by John Heward. Thought he was a lazy pass route runner, but he's been brought back by the pinball.
Well, you see Kemp at quarterback, Michael Jenkins, Black with another one of Heward's cuts back with the team. Mitchell, Tyrone Brown, English, and Kerwin rounding out the receiver core. And a line that has not played together once as a unit this year, led by Frank Rocott at center.
Well, Jude St. John's the only guy from last year's line still in the lineup. Another empty backfield. 2nd down, 7. Argos. Kemp looking down the middle. Looks for the pinball, but he's covered heavily by Sean Woodson, and there's a flag on the play. And it may be Woodson for interference on the pinball.
Initially, good pass protection by that offensive line of Toronto, allowing Kemp to look over a couple receivers before he goes to his outlet, which would be Mike Pinball Clemens. You see him releasing, just finding a spot. Nice shot by Woodson coming back, but as you say,
Draped
Woodson all over him right there, and a great call by the referee.
The crowd expressing its displeasure with the call against pinball. But Sean Woodson, the rookie out of Jackson State, in only his 4th game, gets tagged there. He's replacing Lamar McGriggs, who was cut, despite the fact he was the 2nd leading tackler on this Ticat defense.
But Ron Lancaster said that if you're not going to follow the program, you'll be on a new program out of town, and that's what happened.
Camp saying it's been a more relaxed atmosphere in the Argo camp under Pinball Clemens. He'll flare it out to Ryan Terry. Terry with a move on Woodson. Puts his head down at the 40 and is tackled by a host of Tiger Cats.
Nice job of getting the ball out in the flat to Ryan Terry. This big defensive line, Joel Becker, Mike Philbrick having a great year in the middle. Jeff Cummings, the linebacking crew, Willie Fells, Woodson, and O'Shea, who's always a havoc on that defense. And of course, a secondary led by the hitman, Rob Hitchcock.
Clifford Ivory, number 13, the rookie, is in for veteran Donald Smith, who had his knee swell up on him in practice this week. He's out. Ivory's in. Kemp, lots of time in the pocket. Decides to run now. Won't get far. Jeff Cummings has him by the horns. And now there's some bad blood early. And an injured Tiger Cat. That looks like Cummins. And he's in a lot of discomfort. Jeff Cummins is in all kinds of pain, and that is a big blow for the Tiger Cats.
Well, as you said, Mark, initially great protection. Look at the Steamboats we count off here. He moves up, he sees the receivers are covered, just tries to race out there. The defense swarms around him, and then it becomes, this is where the referee is going to start blowing the whistle.
That's where Cummins got hurt. Watch this, he gets rolled back after the play. Cummins tries to get up. He's got his hand on the ankle of Kemp, and then his leg looks like it was bent back underneath him.
Well, this is one of the times you really want the referee to take charge of the football game. You know they've impeded his forward progress right now. Blow the whistle. Injuries like that shouldn't happen, especially like this.
This would be a big blow as Clemens goes to the bench for a breather. For the Cat defensive line, they're already missing Gonzalo Floyd at one defensive end position. He's out with a strained calf, replaced by Joel Becker, a rookie out of Southeast Missouri State. And now Cummins, another veteran, is still down, the defensive tackle.
Well, I know they also signed the big kid, Mark Word, out of Kansas City Chiefs. He's only had 2 practices, was here since Thursday last week. They really want to get a look at him, but I don't think they wanted to bring him in this situation. So it'll be interesting to see it. And he's also an end. And Cummings playing the defensive tackle of the inside position on that defensive line.
Yeah, he's only practiced, Mark Word has only practiced for 2 days, so still not familiar with the Canadian game. Ron Lancaster waiting for news on Jeff Cummins. A reminder coming up right after this football game. It's the Battle of Alberta, Game 2 of the Labor Day Classic. The Stampeders and the Eskimos, and Don Matthews has really done a job in turning that Eskimo team around.
Well, wherever Don goes, it takes him a couple of years, but he brings in the people that he likes to have. I remember when he took over Edmonton and he released ever popular Willie Pless. You know, the fans went crazy, but he said, I have a game plan. This is going to happen, and he's following through it. As you say, he's putting together a great football team out there in Edmonton.
Bell and Kemp huddled on the bench. They were teammates in 1994 at Sacramento. Kemp backing up Kerwin Bell at that time.
You know, and I think that's a real key point here is Kerwin Bell and the Winnipeg, who was a member of Winnipeg last week, beat these Hamilton Tiger Cats. So right now, he's seen these guys last week. He can tell Kemp, you know, look for this in this situation. So he's going to bring him some, you know, valuable information.
Cummins now up under his own steam and heading towards the Ticat bench gingerly.
Well, that's something you really want to see, Mark. I mean, Jeff Cummings is more than just a defensive tackle on this team. He is one of their leaders. He is a great, great locker room guy, makes the guys laugh all the time. Just leads by example. And you hate to lose like a guy like that, but it looks like he is walking off on his own steam, and that's usually a good sign. 3rd and long for the Argos. Noel Prefontaine is standing just inside his own 25 to punt. He leads the CFL in punt average with 48.5 yards. Amerson and Corey Grant are back to receive for the Tiger Cats. Prefontaine gets a squibber. It's low. One hopper. Amerson cuts back again.
and is dropped after a gain of maybe 2 or 3 yards as big Fred Perry puts a lick on Archie Amerson on the Labor Day Classic in Hamilton. 2 heavy-hitting linebackers trading places on Labor Day. Calvin Tiggle, the most outstanding defensive player. The Tiger Cats last year, going as a free agent to the Argos this year. And of course, Mike O'Shea, the outstanding defensive player, outstanding Canadian, and outstanding player overall for the Argos last year, traded on the opening day of training camp back to Hamilton, where he's had to earn the favor of these fans who were, well, they were hurt. They called him
They
a
never
traitor.
forget. They never forget these fans.
He left in '96 as a free agent and signed with the Argos after beginning his career in '93 with the Tiger Cats. First down, McManus. The ball is batted down by Mike O'Shea, or rather, Glenn Young.
Well, Glenn Young coming from the outside does a nice job of getting his hands up. He can't get to the quarterback. This defensive line, great defensive line. Fred Perry, Johnny Scott, Rogers used to play in Winnipeg. Dunbrack leads the team with sacks. Calvin Tiggle, Glenn Young, Martavius Houston, and Vernon Mitchell. We talked about him earlier with that great hit over the middle. Capers, Bonner, Adrian Smith, and Shaw on the corner.
Second down and 10, Tiger Cats. Ball at their own 39-yard line. McManus in the shotgun, going deep to Corey Grant. Adrian Smith was right there with the coverage. It's incomplete. So Danny McManus, the leading passer in the CFL this year, having trouble getting the gun going here early.
But the nice thing he's doing is he's throwing the ball deep. You know, everybody recognizes the fact that Danny McManus has his favorites, and what he likes to do is he likes to just go underneath, take short. Toronto's doing a great job of taking away the underneath pattern, forcing Danny Mac to throw deep right now. And as you say, the wind is playing havoc with the football a little bit, and as a result, the last 2 deep throws have fallen incomplete.
Paulus Baldiston standing at his own 24. The punt. The Tiger Cats. Tyrone Brown, the lone man back for the Argos. And a big kick from Ozzie. Brown at his own 20. Cuts up midfield and is tracked down from behind for a short gain. Let's go to the sidelines, and here's Scott Russell.
Thanks very much, Mark. Update on Jeff Cummins' condition. If you take a look over here, that's Chris Puskas, who is the trainer here with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and he's wrapping the left ankle of Jeff Cummins. Looks like Jeff's going to get back into the game, but the ankle folded right underneath him on that play. So Jeff Cummins getting the ankle wrap. Look like he'll be back in just a few moments.
It's a good sign for the Tiger Cats.
Well, Mark, you picked that out, old Eagle Eye. You saw that amidst that pile. We will give credit to where credit is due.
This wind gusting at 24 kilometers per hour across the field, giving the quarterbacks and receivers trouble as the Argos stay on the ground to Ryan Terry, and not much there as Fells and Montfort were waiting. Willie Fells, the rookie out of Purdue University, playing in the middle. They moved Mike O'Shea outside because he can play the outside weak linebacker position better than Fells.
Well, it's just a deep handoff right now. Let Ryan Terry find a hole. The offensive line initially does a good job of getting movement, but as we talked about early, Joe Mont from the outside, Willie Fells playing that middle linebacker job. Just a great job of filling the hole.
Second and long, about 8 for the Argos. Kemp rolling now. Pursuit. Throws the ball wide side. Oh, it's in and out of the hands of the pinball. Incomplete. And he throws it down in disgust.
This is something we talked about earlier. Mike Pinball normally does not drop passes, but he's had so much to worry about this whole week, not only with decisions of who's playing, bringing people on and off the roster, but having to also worry about his job on the football field. Just runs a little curl out right there. Comes, the ball's thrown. He knows he should have caught that football. He ends up just getting it and just kind of in disgust throwing the football down.
You have to wonder if the dual function of head coach and player has affected pinball this week. Prefontaine gets a low punt, pushed down by the wind. Amerson again cuts upfield and gets to midfield in good field position for the Tiger Cats. Still no score in Hamilton. The Argos and Cats on Labor Day. Hamilton, and you're looking at the hefty left side of that Hamilton offensive line. Seth Dittman, 6'7", 300. Gary Brown, 6'4", 320. Brown's first 2 games with this team at midseason, both were 100-yard games for Ronald Williams.
Well, he's a big man, and I think 320 is a little bit on the light side, but he's got great feet. And he played tackle in the NFL Europe loves the guard position, feels it gives him more chance to get head-on-head with one of those defensive tackles.
McManus 0 for 4 passing so far, stays on the ground. Ronald Williams nowhere to go, gets across the center field stripe for a couple. But McManus having trouble perhaps negotiating this crosswind at Ivor Wynne Stadium.
Well, I think they're doing the right thing, and that's basically running the football. You can see Seth just coming down there. Gary Brown, 67, getting out, getting the big ham hocks on Fred Perry, allowing Ronald Williams to at least have an opportunity to pick up a few yards.
Gain is about 2, second and long situation for McManus as he empties the backfield. 6 receiver set, 4 to the wide side. He goes short side, threw the ball before Amerson made his break, and it was too short. Incomplete in another punting situation. McManus now 0 for 5 passing.
But a nice job of the Argonaut defense of coming after Danny Mac. Don't let him sit back there. Don't let him get into a rhythm. Donovan Carter comes from the outside. One too many guys. They can't pick him up. Forces Danny McManus to throw the ball early, resulting in another incompletion.
Well, we've seen this before. I mean, McManus can go hot and cold several times during a game. Ron Lancaster never gets too excited.
Well, you know, and you also got to talk, Mark, about the fact that as we watch Ozzie punt the football, they haven't been able to scout him. They don't know what they're going to show on defense. It's all new now.
Tyrone Brown was pinned on his 2 and is rocked by Mike O'Shea on special teams at the 15.
Closed captioning brought to you by Tim Hortons Iced Cappuccino. It's creamy, smooth, deep down cream.
A 52-yard punt and a 13-yard return as Pigskin Pete gets this sellout crowd revved up here on Labor Day. Tough field position for the Argonauts, starting inside their own 15. Kemp, play action pass, pursuit. He's sacked from behind. Big Joe Montfort has got him. A sack leader in the CFL.
Well, young Yul Kim, that's his job to try and keep him out of the backfield, but it really is tough when your quarterback is going to do a little rollout into that direction. Number 67 at the top of your screen, trying to do that. He just beats him around the corner, and you got to keep a guy like the hunter, Joe Montfort, to the wide. Push him around the goalpost, get him as far from your quarterback as heavily possible.
Montfort with his 7th quarterback sack of the season. And it's second and long. Kemp inside his own end zone. More pursuit. Sidearms the ball. Incomplete. Intended for Andrew English, but no chance as this Cat defense gets hungry.
Well, I think you got to try and help out this offensive line. We talked about the fact that they had to run the football a little bit to try and help the pass. But right there, Joe Montfort's fired up. Mike Philbrick, he's fired up. They're all coming after the quarterback. They're beating the offensive lineman right there. You got to let your quarterback have some time to set up, to get comfortable, to find his receivers, and that's not happening right now.
Big Joe Montfort, perennial sack leader in this league. Big man. And he is a lightning rod on this defense. But now, Noel Prefontaine is standing 10 yards deep. And he's going to run this out. Pursuit from Clifford Ivory, and he'll take it into touch and give it up. 2-point safety touch from the punter, Prefontaine.
You know, that's just a smart play by Toronto right there. Being that far back and playing the wind and not giving Hamilton the ball deep in Toronto after the punt. Now they get a chance to kick it off and at least sway some of the momentum and some of the field position.
But Chris, these guys have had trouble on special teams. That's why they've brought this man, Scott Spurgeon, in as a consultant to special teams. Darryl Pascal, who was just in the picture momentarily, has had trouble organizing special teams. They had 4 block punts in 2 games. Now this.
Well, that all comes down to one thing, Mark, and that's the fact that he's never coached in a Canadian game. He's never coached with 12 players. Now you got a guy, Scott Spurgeon, who has coached here, understands the game, is a perfectionist when it comes to special teams, and is going to work well with that.
And he's got to go back to Ottawa tomorrow at Hillcrest High School, where he's a teacher. So he's on loan as a consultant for all of 1 week here to help straighten out the special teams. And you can see he's enjoying working under Pinball. He told me the other day, Pinball Clemens is the first coach that ever said thank you to him for hard work.
Well, you got everybody. You know, Pinball says thank you to everybody. I mean, that's just the way it is. He creates an atmosphere, and what happens is players want to play for him.
Got Hank Alissig over his shoulder also helping out. Veteran kicker in the CFL.
Fresh off his tour of Woodstock.
So Spurgeon trying to straighten out the Argo special teams. Daryl Adrenaline, the special teams coach for the Tiger Cats, very familiar with Scott Spurgeon's tactics, so we'll see how that plays out throughout the course of this game. The kick goes to Archie Amerson at his own 16-yard line. Amerson looking for a seam, avoids Eric Lapointe, and finally brought him down just short of his own 35-yard line. McManus back on the field, struggling in the passing department, 0 for 5, but the Winds have been moving the ball around here at Ivor Williams.
Yes, they have, Mark, especially on those 2 deep balls thrown by Danny McManus. But you got to give credit to also the Argonaut defense, who are really disrupting his rhythm right now. They're bringing blitz. Donovan Carter on the last series. They're disrupting his rhythm right now, not allowing him to get comfortable back there.
Only needs 2 completions to pass Tom Burgess, 9th all-time in completions in CFL passing, and so far those are hard to come by. McManus, shotgun, hands off to Ronald Williams. Lead block, spins off, and he's close to a first down. Running behind Big Gary Brown.
Well, Big Gary Brown, but I tell you what, number 55, Chris Burns, just does an outstanding job of not only getting around the corner, backside guard, he's going to pull around, you see him, number 55, and a hooking, log blocking that guy, giving the alleyway to number 24, Ronald Williams. Nice job of that offensive line.
Williams, the second leading rusher in the CFL behind the big man Mike Pringle in Montreal. On the ground again, Williams following Chris Burns. This time the Argos put him down for a loss on the play.
Well, Mark, the exact same play they ran so successfully the play before. This time the Argonaut defense strings it out, allowing the defenders to come from the backside and limited the gain. You can see him going around Gary Brown. There's Chris Burns, number 55 in your screen. He's just riding his backside right there, trying to find a hole, but Roger Dunbrack, all the way from the backside, flowing as a good defensive end will, making the play.
A loss despite the fact they brought in 2 extra offensive linemen, Pascal Charon and Mark Verbeek, on that last series. Second and a little more than 10. Here comes Perry right side, passing. It's complete, the first completion of the day for McManus to Archie Amerson. Very close to the first down marker at center field.
Nice job, nice completion, and a nice job of the offensive line of Hamilton, because one of the things that the Argonauts are doing is moving the defensive lineman around. You see Fred Perry, number 93, trying to disguise where he's going to rush the quarterback from. Comes all the way from the middle to the outside, but is picked up effectively by Seth Dittman.
Donovan Carter making the tackle, the #1 draft pick of the Argos this year. Third down and about a foot. The short yardage team is back in. McManus, 3-man backfield. He'll sneak it. Glenn Young tries to push him back, but he'll have the first down.
Well, great surge by the big Hoggies. Mike Philbrick comes in. Mark Verbeek come in at the tight end. The Hoggies on the short yardage team. Glenn Young does an excellent job of stopping McManus initially, but Danny Mack, who's not known for great leg drive, keeps moving and picks up that first down.
Young getting a rare start. Normally he plays behind Donovan Carter, but he's the run-down linebacker. Bring him in on running downs. And a big special teams player, but Carter's been plagued by the flu all week. First down at center field. Tiger Cats. Again, shotgun handoff, Ronald Williams. Some daylight, leaping to the 50-yard line. So Williams doing the yeoman's load of work here for the Tiger Cats in the first quarter.
Listen, as an old lineman, I'm telling you right now, I'm getting emotional up here in the booth, because you got to watch these guys. Gary Brown, 67. Chris Burns pulling out in front of them. Look at the blocks. Great job again by Chris Burns getting the initial block, Gary Brown, all slim, 340 pounds, pulling around that corner. Nice job on the offense. Again, Ronald Williams is the recipient of good yardage.
Martavius Houston took a beating on that last play on the block. I'm not sure who's down, but there is an Argo injured on the field at center.
I'll bet you it was Chris Burns, because he pulled out there and just caught the linebacker Martavius Houston and did a nice job, because he is the key block. By that I mean he is the front runner. The backside guard has to read the front block. If he sees his numbers, he's got to pull up inside. If he doesn't see his numbers, it means he has to go around the block. So there's so much reading to do by these offensive linemen.
It is Houston, and they're helping him to his feet. The leading tackler on the Argo defense with 41, tied with Calvin Tago. Looked like he got a leg whip in the face there as he went down.
I think he's just looking for the license number that ran over him. I think that's what he's looking for. You see Chris Burns right there. I mean, that's a great job. And as an offensive lineman, you gotta love that when you're on the field right now and you're running the ball successfully. It's so much more fun than just sitting back on your haunches, catching them as they're doing the pass rush and, getting all the glory and all the girls.
But the Ticats find themselves in a 2nd and 5.5 situation. McManus straight back to pass, looking deep downfield, far side. It's Amerson, he's got it! Touchdown, Tiger Cats! Danny McManus' 2nd completion of the game to pass Tom Burgess, 9th all-time in the CFL, and the first major of the game on the Labor Day Classic.
Well, we talked about him going deep, and he's going deep again. I mean, he just gets man-to-man coverage. Gets Archie Amerson out in the backfield, just runs down there. Nice job of protection by that offensive line. He's got one-on-one coverage right there. Adrian Smith, usually an all-star cornerback, but on that play, no match for the speed of Archie Amerson, who makes an outstanding catch, concentrates on keeping the ball, and as you say, puts the first touchdown on the board.
Convert by Osbaldiston is good, and McManus lulls the Argo defense with the run and beats them deep on a 50-yard bomb to Archie Amerson. And it's 9-0 Tiger Cats in the first quarter.
Well, just a nice job. I mean, the Argonaut defense is making Danny McManus earn it by telling you those are the big plays you can't have happen, especially when you get it all in one big play, as you say. But that just shows you, Mark, how important the running game is. You start establishing the run. The linebackers start cheating up to the offensive line. Next thing you know, everybody's expecting the run. He just throws the ball.
Full strike.
Absolutely beautiful throw. Great concentration of Archie Amerson to catch the ball, hold it in there, and as you say, take it into the end zone.
McManus, look at this. Looking wide side, comes back short side, and beats Adrian Smith one-on-one. Watches that one with not much reaction at all. A 50-yard bomb, his 2nd completion of the game. Amerson now with 60 yards on 2 catches. That puts him over 700 yards so far in the season.
Well, that's outstanding. But look at him. I mean, there's no reaction in this guy right now. If you were looking at this picture, you'd wonder if he had a pulse. The biggest thing about it is the fact that he was 0-5. That would rattle some quarterbacks and maybe start forcing them to try and get the completions. He just sits back there and says, you know what, it's going to happen.
McManus with his 14th touchdown pass of the season. The Tiger Cats lead the Argos 9-0. Osbaldiston's kick taken by Tyrone Brown at his own 12-yard line, following the block of Ryan Terry. The special teams still to get untrapped for the Argos, as they don't get much on that one at all.
Well, one of the things I think we have to see as we see the scrum, I mean, there's no love lost between the Tiger Cats and the Argonauts, and there never will be. But one of the things we want to see, maybe we haven't called Daryl Mitchell's name yet today. I mean, here's a guy that 3 weeks ago had 10 catches for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then became invisible last week. And I think you have to make him a part of your offense. Go to him early, get him in the game early. You got Tyrone Brown, the other speedster. That should open up some passing lanes for you.
When Doug Flutie was at the helm of the Argos, he was his favorite receiver. But you're right, Kemp has yet to get the ball to Daryl Mitchell yet. First down, Argos at their own 29. Pitch pass. Andre Kerwan is hit immediately by Chris Schelling.
Well, nice job. Just a little hitch pass. Get everybody out there in front of you. See Coach Pinball Yeah, you don't see many coaches on the football field blocking. Does a nice job on Nicholas Harper. But again, Chris Schelling and, Ron Lancaster will tell you, the reason they love this guy is he is so physical. We just saw it right there.
Clemens stays in the game at slot back. Nobody in the Argo backfield except Kemp. He's got time. There's Mitchell. Gets his first pass complete across the 40, 45 to the 50-yard line. And the first big threatening gain by the Argos as Mookie gets his hands on the ball for the first time. 1 quarter done in Hamilton, and the Ticats lead the Argos 9-0 in the Labor Day Classic. Back at Ivor Wynne Stadium, the head coaches Ron Lancaster and the interim head coach Wally Highsmith deep in the dugout there behind Donovan Carter. They would have played against each other back in the 70s and 60s. Highsmith, of course, a Grey Cup champion with the Alouettes back in 1970. Lancaster played through 1978, I believe it was, and took over in 79 as the head coach in Saskatchewan.
Well, I think he's pleased to be leading 9-0, but you got to remember they did have the win that first quarter, and that's very important. I mean, you look at the first downs, 2, 4, very even. Yards passing, obviously, just after that big pass in favor of Hamilton. Yards rushing, well, the Argonauts have yet to establish with only 1. But, I mean, time of possession, relatively even. So the game is not out of hand by any means right now, Mark.
1 big pass to Archie Emerson, the real difference in this football game so far.
Absolutely.
First down, Argos, just shy of their own 50-yard line. Ryan Terry, handoff. Big move on Montfort, but Montfort recovers quickly to grab him from behind.
Well, that is just a nice job on both sides of the ball there. I mean, as you say, Ryan Terry, give him the lazy leg, pulls it back. Montfort gets caught, but he reacts so well, so quick for a big man to come back after initially falling back. Look at that, hand on the ground, making the play. A lot of people would just turn around and look and say, my teammates will make that play. Not Joe Montfort.
Montfort showing rapier-like reflexes to track down Ryan Terry. It's 2nd and 7. Crowd getting noisy again. Flags are flying and the play is blown down before it starts. And the Argos are called on a time count violation. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Kerwin Bell on the Argo bench, watching along with Jay Barker. Hey, they were teammates in 1998 with the Argos.
Well, I really think the addition of Kerwin Bell is going to bring some, solid things to that Toronto offense. He's got a great offensive mind.
I know it's early, but do you think we'll see Kerwin Bell if Kemp can't get the Argos going?
Right now, I don't think so. I think, it's early yet, as you say, in the game.
Kemp, lots of time. Complete again to Daryl Mitchell at the 50-yard line. The tackle by Mike O'Shea. Now, that's an interesting matchup, and maybe the Argos are trying to get Mitchell on O'Shea, who's not quite as fast.
Well, absolutely. One of the things you want to do is you try and get mismatches. This would be on paper very much a mismatch. The speed of Daryl Mitchell against the linebacking abilities of Mike O'Shea. But as you say, Mike O'Shea is playing the old hunting game, the duck game. Let the duck come into the water. In this case, Daryl Mitchell. I'll let him look like he's open. Jimmy Kemp throws in the football, and then Mike O'Shea does what he does best, and that's tackle.
O'Shea making sure on that one. As the Argos got back to the line of scrimmage. A block punt. That's the rookie. Clifford Ivory got his hand on that one. The Ticats have it at 50-yard line. There's another flag on the field. A no-yard call will come against the Argos, no doubt about that. As Juhas gets the ball, and pinballs, Argos are in tough here early at Ivor Wynne. Clifford Ivory, the rookie out of Troy State, making his first start for the Tiger Cats in place of Donald Smith, and makes his presence felt on special teams with a block punt.
Well, he's right at the top of the screen. You can see right there, he just beats the block of Orlando Bowen. I mean, there's mental mistakes and there's physical mistakes. That is a physical mistake. If he's that wide out there and you got to block him, then you get your fatty out there to block him. You don't stay in tight. You move out a couple steps to make your job easier. These are mistakes that have been killing and haunting the Argonauts all year.
First down, Ticats at their own 53. McManus in the shotgun. All kinds of time. Wide side. It's intercepted. Antonius Bonner on a ball that hung up intended for Andrew Gregg. And the Argos get the ball back.
Well, the ball, as you say, did hang up, Mark. It's a cross-field pass. It's a long throw. And one of the things you're doing, you're throwing right into the teeth of the wind. The ball hangs up, just slows down, allows Antonius Bonner, who leads the team with 3 picks, now has 4, to come back and make a great play on the football right there. And it's a good thing Andrew Gregg tackles him, or he's racing all the way down, putting Toronto right back in this football game.
So Bonner, the 5th-year veteran out of Mississippi, with his 4th interception of the season. And the Argos have good field position at center field. Kemp at quarterback. Terry in the backfield to block. Kemp with time. Down the middle. It's tipped and nearly picked off. Willie Fells couldn't come back to the ball after it was tipped by big Michael O'Shea.
Well, let's talk about Mike O'Shea. You know, wins all his awards as a linebacker, a middle linebacker if you would. Has to move to the weak side linebacker. This time he lines up as Sam linebacker, which means the strong side of the football field, the wide side of the football field. But what he does so well is he gets a great drop. Look at that drop. Gets back there, reacts, gets his paw on the ball, almost causes an interception.
O'Shea having to earn the favor of these Ticat fans, and he's doing it here. The former Argo back in stripes. Kemp with time again. He's got Tyrone Brown open for a first down across the 40-yard line of the Tiger Cats.
Just a nice underneath route by Tyrone Brown, just coming across the middle, puts Clifford Ivory in a chase position. Nice protection. Look, he looks to the right, comes back to the left, throws it. He's running underneath. You can see Clifford Ivory is behind him. As a result, he can't impede the throw. Nice job of getting the ball to him. Nice catch.
Brown is fast. It gives this Argo passing offense, the weakest in the league, a deep threat. Handoff. Ryan Terry nowhere to go. There's Willie Fells and Joe Montford. Steer wrestling him down for a short gain of maybe a yard or 2. Willie Fells playing with a cast on his left arm. He has a dislocated thumb. That was injured 2 weeks ago right here. Had surgery. Pins put in it last week. He's back with the cast this week.
One of the reasons he's playing middle linebacker Michael O'Shea, isn't it? Because he can adjust more easily to the middle than Mike can to the outside.
Rookie out of Purdue. Looking into the headlights of Jimmy Kemp. Here's the blitz. Kemp gets it away, and it's incomplete as they sent almost everybody in the Ticat defense. Pressure there from Montford and Mark Word. Just in from Kansas City.
They're bringing this many guys. I mean, look at them all across right there. You see O'Shea's coming, Mark Word coming. They don't have enough guys to pick up the rushers. As a result, he's got to see this. The receiver's got to start yelling. Whatever their code is, bingo, bingo, red, red, red. Let the quarterback know, because if you got too many guys rushing, somebody and the receiving court has got to be open.
Field goal attempt for Jacob Marini. The ball will be placed at the 44-yard line. Wind blowing from left to right. It's down up, wide right. Corey Grant has it in the Ticat end zone. Running the clock, takes a knee, and that wide 44-yard field goal attempt from Marini will give the Argos 1 point. They're on the board, but trailing Hamilton 9-1 with 11:07 to go to the half. Coming up on this Labor Day doubleheader, Game 2 from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. It's the Battle of Alberta. The Stampeders and Eskimos at 4 Eastern. And you know, these two quarterbacks, although McManus has more than double the passing yards of Jimmy Kemp, their passing efficiencies are virtually identical. 75% for Kemp, 75.4% for Danny McManus. What does that tell you?
It tells you that, you know, they're really similar and they're doing a lot of good things. It's just that the offense as a whole is not producing on one side.
Pitch pass to Darren Flutie, his first catch of the game, but there are flags down. Gain of about 7 for Flutie.
You sit tighter and I throw right away. He jumps me, you're free to continue.
As O'Shea turns coach on the sidelines to the newcomer, Mark Word, playing in his first game with the Cats, first game in the CFL after only 2 days of practice.
Well, I think what they're going to do is just a hitch pass right there, but what happened was Andrew Gregg came back and did a little bit of a crack block, a legal block on Antonius Bonner, who got up and complained vehemently to the referee. You can see him coming down here. It's number 89 on your screen. Look at that. That's a chop block. You're not allowed to do that, especially from the side like that. I mean, that's a career ender right there. Take him up high, knock him into tomorrow.
Crack back block. Hamilton, number 89. Penalty will be applied from point ball dead. Roll it down, second down.
You nailed that one, Chris.
Well, those are career enders, and you really hate to see it. I know the emotion is there, and there may be a genuine dislike, and you're trying to get the job done, but all you have to really do is get it, be a shield, get in his way. I mean, I love the enthusiasm. I love this game because it's a contact game. It's a rough sport out there.
So it'll be second and awfully long for the Tiger Cats. As the ball moves, or rather the line of scrimmage moves back inside the 30. About 18 yards needed for Ron Lancaster's Ticats to get a first down. Going into the wind.
And it's a big play. I mean, it's early in the game, but it's a big play for Toronto right now to hold him and force him to punt in this strong wind. You want to use the wind to your advantage anytime you can if you get the ball to your offense.
McManus will keep Ronald Williams next to him in the backfield. Flutie, the only man on the short side. Far side. It's intercepted. Wayne Shaw. And there's nobody but daylight. Touchdown Argos. And now there's a brawl on the Ticat Argo bench. Andrew Gregg is mixing it up with the Argos on the sideline.
Well, I'm sure that the Argonauts were talking to Andrew Gregg about the previous play when he did that little bit of a chop block on Tonius Bonner, and he took exception to what was being said from the bench, and it got involved in a little bit of a melee there.
McManus going to the wide side into the wind. It held up again, and Wayne Shaw, the sophomore out of Kent State, who learned at the heel of Donald Smith last year in the Argo camp, does his mentor proud with the pick.
Well,
his second of the season.
You know, Mark, it looked like there's a little bit of a breakdown in the receiving part of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the fact that I saw Corey Grant there and I saw another receiver in the same vicinity, and anytime you have two receivers in the same vicinity, somebody has broken off their pattern, and if you're standing close together, all you're really doing is bringing another defender into the mix. And on that play, as you say, Wayne Shaw, Johnny on the spot, the ball hangs up, bam, he picks it up, and an easy touchdown for the cornerback of the Toronto Argonauts.
McManus licking his wounds after that one. Marini's convert is good, and it's a one-point ball game. Wayne Shaw's 43-yard interception return for a touchdown, jumping in front of Andrew Gregg, who was penalized for unnecessary roughness.
Well, he's just trying to find it, but you can see Corey Grant up top of the screen right there, and the ball was thrown neither to one nor the other, but they're both in the same area. Unfortunately, the ball split the middle of them, and it found number 9 in the white uniform. And obviously, Pinball Clemens' reaction as he sees the little melee, the scuffle in front of him. Obviously, you can see Mitchell, Andrew Gregg going at it.
Uncharacteristic of Andrew Gregg, who gets penalized for unnecessary roughness. That will be added on to the kickoff. As Clemens chats with Hank Olisic on the sidelines, acting as a coach in this capacity. There's the interim coach, Wally Highsmith, talking with Fred Perry, the sophomore out of Southern Arkansas. The Argo defense setting the tone here early for the Toronto team, which offense has not been a strong suit today. There's Wayne Shaw, who had a big pick for the touchdown, and Lancaster a little frustrated with his offense and with the undisciplined of Gregg.
Well, that's a big thing. I mean, you know there's going to be emotion, especially today when you got a sellout crowd behind you. You know there's no love lost between these two teams, but you have to play with controlled emotion. You can't take unnecessary penalties that will hurt you.
Prefontaine hoofs this one into the end zone and through. What a kick with the wind. Noel Prefontaine has the biggest leg in the CFL, and he displayed it there, Chris.
Well, he definitely has a lot of power. And, you know, he's put up with the frustrations of having, you know, 4 punts and 5 punts right now coming into this game being blocked. I mean, and boy, I tell you, he just puts everything into this. And there you see one of the greatest punters ever played in the CFL, Hank Olisic, who I remember playing as a youngster and watching him, who could punt the ball almost 60 yards straight up in the air and then just catch it, just like he was playing with a yo-yo in the opposite way. I mean, the guy was unbelievable.
It was an 80-yard kickoff from Prefontaine. The old days, you'd get a single point when it went through the end zone. Not anymore. Ticats will scrimmage from their own 25. Play action now. McManus rolling. Throwing downfield for Flutie. Flutie's got it. No! It dropped out of his hands. Hit him in the breadbasket. Close coverage from Antonius Bonner, who had his back to the play.
You know what I got to tell you is Darren Flutie got away with one as well. I mean, he goes down there and actually at the last second he wants to get some separation, pushes his hand out and gets away from the receiver, almost makes the catch. Watch the ball as it comes down here now. Now watch Flutie right there, push him away, allows a little separation from Bonner and gives him an opportunity to try and come down with that football. Had he caught the football, he might have got away with one right there.
The official had his hand on that flag for a second. 2nd and 10. Ticats. Manus's balls are hanging up here in the wind. Back to pass. Pressure, steps up into the pocket. Down the middle, complete. It looks like Flutie. He's got it for a first down, and he's drilled by Tegel and Bonner.
Well, that's something you just can't, you know, you're not born with it. This is just years of playing together with each other. I mean, you know the magic, the chemistry between McManus and Flutie. But look at this. He sits in there, great protection from the offensive line, given what a field of vision right there. He finds the hole between Tegel and Bonner. The ball is thrown perfectly. That is excellent execution.
McManus stepping into that pass, throwing with more authority. First down, Ticats. McManus over the middle to Amerson. Amerson is dropped at the 40-yard line. Byron Capers makes the tackle for the Argos.
Well, just a nice job of bringing Archie Amerson across the field, trying to put one of the defenders in a chase position, hopefully get a block downfield and spring him loose. Toronto does a great job, though, excuse me, Mark, of limiting that gain to 4.
He's only got 19 yards rushing. They're not using him as a back very much at all anymore. They're mainly a super slot back receiver. Over 700 yards now receiving the passes of Danny McManus. 2nd down and about 6. Offside Argos, it looks like, as flags fly.
Well, that's where your wily veteran Danny McManus catches these guys. He just changes the snap count. You know, if they start going on a, you know, on a reoccurrence of 1-1-1, all he does is change the count. Rolls on 2 or 3, and Fred Perry, anticipating the count because it's been on 1 for the majority of the game, tries to jump and anticipate, and Danny Mac gets a free play.
This Argo defense, the best in the CFL 1 year ago, does not lead in the single defensive category this year. And you have to wonder, after John Heward taking over as head coach, first thing he said was that his defense was overrated. Several players fled, like Kelly Wiltshire of Montreal. 2nd and short. Ronald Williams rumbling. Stacked up quickly, though. He'll be close to a first down.
Yeah, he'll be close to a first down, and I'm sure they'll go for it. But, you know, you mentioned Wiltshire going to Montreal. I think another guy, a real big leader on Toronto, Demetrius Maxey, going to Saskatchewan. I mean, he was just so emotional out there. He really led that defensive line. And I mean, not to take anything away from who they have now, but, I mean, you can't come in there and, especially as you say, Mark, when you're leading in almost every category, and downgrade them.
Yeah, and this defense today is beginning to show some signs of the old Argo defense from last year, but it's been beaten up this year.
Well, the biggest thing is you have to believe in your system. You could have the most talented guys out there, but if you don't believe in it, you're going to have breakdowns. And right now, they're playing well. They play like they believe in it. They're playing with emotion. You know, we're past the initial 15-minute pinball emotion thing. We're playing smart.
Hey, they're playing with more life than they did 1 week ago against BC.
Absolutely.
When it looked more like touch football. 3rd down gamble. 3rd and less than a yard. McManus will sneak. And he'll have it. The Ticats convert on offense. Another first down on the ground.
Now, you know, Toronto's taking a shot at Danny Mac every time he goes on those short yardage plays because it's virtually the only time they get to touch that guy. I mean, he's only been sacked once this year. He had a record year last year, only being sacked 7 times. I mean, if you get a chance to hit number 14 in the black and yellow, you better do it. And they're taking a shot on him in short yardage.
They have 2 quarterbacks who've never played a down in the CFL behind him, Todd Bankhead and Billy Dicker. 3rd down gambles have been good for the Cats. Play action. McManus throws it up. Amerson's got it. Close to center field.
Oh, that's just great play by Roger Dunbrack, not being fooled by the bootleg. Stay in your proper pass rush lanes. He does a great job. But Danny Mac, Little sidearm throw to Archie Amerson. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks will get flustered. This guy just amazes me. Nice job, Archie. Archie just coming down, looking, wheeling in front, just finding the little opening in the zone right there. Beautiful. Nice hit. A lot of yapping going on there. Wayne Shaw, number 9's having a little battle.
Number 9's having a few words, and Amerson in this game may surpass his season high of 750 yards. At the halfway point of the season, here's Ronald Williams rumbling, hit hard, twists and turns, and he'll be close to another first down. There are flags down. The Cats using the ground game more efficiently.
Well, you know, Toronto's offside. They're trying to get in there and disrupt the rhythm, and unfortunately they're jumping.
Offside, Toronto, number 91, first down.
Tyrone Rogers jumps this time on the Argo D-line.
You know, but that's the thing. I mean, you know, you mentioned the run game. The run game is so important, especially when we start getting into some bad weather.
Look, he's offside just lining up.
Oh, well, you can tell right there. Look where the hand is right there. You got to be a yard back. You know, and the rest of the team should check. He should check like that. A lot of times your teammates will take a look down, check the rest of your alignment.
First down, McManus, empty backfield. Big rush downfield. It's intercepted by Adrian Smith. Smith goes to the wide side, looks for a block, and is surrounded, finally knocked down by Darren Flutie. And so Danny McManus is intercepted on successive series as the Argo defense continues to hold Toronto in this Labor Day Classic. Don Matthews and the Edmonton Eskimos travel to McMahon Stadium in Calgary to meet the Stampeders in Game 2 of our Labor Day doubleheader. Here's the third interception thrown so far in the first half by McManus.
Well, Kevin Tiggle, number 73, coming on a Mac Dog, middle dog blitz, and he throws the ball up into the wind. Hangs up there, Adrian Smith. Nice job of coming back to the football, but you can see the pressure. Number 73 coming right through the middle. That's a scheme defense. Pull the defense or the offensive lineman outside wide, create an opening for your middle linebacker, Calvin Tiggle, in that situation to have a free run at the quarterback.
Adrian Smith with his first interception of the season. McManus throwing off his back foot into the wind. Empty backfield Argos. Kemp now intended for Brown. He's got it. But Clifford Ivory nearly had it on his own hand.
Well, you know what? That is a nice throw, but an even nicer play by Tyrone Brown of taking a step toward the football. Don't sit there waiting for the football to come to your hands. He takes a step into it, and as a result, takes away what might have been an interception from 13. He comes into the football. That's a nice job.
That went right through the arms of Joe Montford, just over his helmet. A seeing eye single to Tyrone Brown in a 2-yard gain. Second and long. Crowd now roaring, trying to help the home team. Kemp rolling right. Here comes O'Shea. It's complete to Brown again. And Ivory makes the tackle out of bounds into the Cat bench, but it might be shy of the first down.
Well, it may be shy of the first down, and you know what? This offensive line of Toronto has taken some heat, but Jude St. John may not be able to show it. Does a great job of coming back and getting Mike O'Shea on the blitz, allowing Jimmy Kemp just that other extra second to throw the football. Nice job.
They'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. So Kemp will go off to the sidelines after 2 completions to Tyrone Brown, and the Argos will punt with the win.
With the win and with the league's strongest leg punting the football. Their covered team has been great. We talk about the fact of Noel Prefontaine having the highest punt average. He also has the highest net, which means that your covered team...
It's over his head! Prefontaine running for his life! He's in his end zone! And he throws it out of touch! What a smart play! What a heads-up play by Prefontaine.
What presence of mind, as you say. That ball, bad snap. Just when you don't need things to go wrong, they do. Over the head. The ball is just snapped too high. Prefontaine, who has great hands, tries to pull it down, but look, as you say, doesn't get tackled. Allows himself to get back into the end zone and throw the ball out, giving up a safety. Just a great job. I mean, one nice one-hander there, but not allowing himself to be tackled on the 1 or 2 yard line, but to get it to the end zone and throw it out. giving up 2 points as opposed to giving the Hamilton Tiger Cats the ball with their offense inside the 5.
And Scott Spurgeon, who was brought in this week as a special teams consultant, is not pleased with what's been happening in this football game.
You can't do nothing about that. When you had the other play, when they blew a blocking assignment, that's something. But as far as a bad snap, that's just execution. They know what they have to do. Get the snap down. You work on this all practice. Control yourself. Put the ball in his hands. Don't make silly errors.
Prefontaine giving up the safety touch in what looked like it could have been a 1st and goal. Ticats, if they tackled him close to the goal line. An errant snap way over his head. Prefontaine is a heads-up player, though. Ronald Williams on the pitch out. Not much as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and is dropped immediately.
Well, I'll tell you what, the biggest thing you got going for you is right now, if you're a Toronto fan, you got to love the fact that your defense is playing very, very well, picking off Danny Mac 3 times, 1 for a touchdown. But if you're on special teams, as we said, it's been a sore spot all year. You got to execute. It's not even like we're having a mental breakdown. Now we're just having execution. You got to do this right. Snap of the football, for God's sakes.
Well, Frank Roca did that last year for the Ticats with the Argos this year. That's uncharacteristic. As the screen goes to Williams. Williams rumbling now. 1st down territory, Ticats.
Well, it's a 1st down, Mark, but I tell you, one of the other things that happens, we talked about it earlier, this game is about momentum. Toronto was starting to get some momentum. You can see Darren Flutie with...
He got hurt on that pick. He tried to make the tackle.
Oh, he just got his bell rung. And the nicest thing, I mean, this is momentum, and Hamilton now has momentum, and we'll see what happens when we come back.
There's Darren Flutie on the Ticat bench with ice on his neck. He was injured trying to make the tackle on the Adrian Smith interception.
Well, most definitely. You see Adrian Smith coming around right now. Tries to make the tackle. You can see him right there. Gets his helmet caught. Gets rolled over right there. But it's more the fact of catching the helmet on Adrian Smith's knee that jammed the neck back. And as a result, he's got the old ice pack on it. I'm sure they'll take a look at him at halftime, and hopefully we'll see him in the second half.
Trevor Shaw is in the game in replacing Darren Flutie. Handoff, Ronald Williams up the middle. No. It's Jared Smith taking over for Williams, and a short gain to the 50-yard line. Darren Flutie is en route to another 1,000-yard season, so let's hope that isn't a serious neck injury. Came into the game with 668 yards. He's had 1,000-yard receiving seasons in 7 of the last 8 years, including 4 straight.
Well, you can see Curtis Marsh having that outstanding campaign in Saskatchewan. Darren Flutie, 686. Archie Amerson, 642. Milt, the Stilt, Stiegel out Winnipeg, and Travis Moore. I mean, these are great quality, outstanding receivers.
2nd down and 8. McManus shotgun. No one back to help. Deep into the wind for Ronald Williams. Hit him in the shoulder pads, and then he's rocked by Martavius Houston. That was the same play in which he was intercepted on the last series.
Well, I'll tell you what. Danny McManus, never say he's scared to go back, because, I mean, he got that one picked off by Adrian Smith on a similar pattern. He goes right back to the well, and as you say, off the shoulder pads of the running back Ronald Williams, and falls incomplete.
Roughing the passer, Toronto, number 91, 1st down.
Tyrone Williams is flagged for roughing Danny McManus. The two of them had a little chat after the play.
Well, you know, I know the fact is that they get frustrated because they say the offensive linemen are holding them, they're throwing them on the ground, they're doing a lot of things right there.
That's a cheap call.
But
that's
I mean,
cheap.
Oh, that's not. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, you got to let these guys play. They have equipment on. They got face masks on. Don't, you know.
So it's 1st down, Tiger Cats at the Toronto 45. McManus to Williams, reverses field, and another good gain on the ground for the 2nd leading rusher in the CFL.
Well, one of the things about Ronald Williams is he gets stronger as the game goes on. He's almost like Pringle in Montreal. You know, they feel like you got him bottled up and all of a sudden he explodes. Well, Ronald Williams is very similar in that. He doesn't have the same yardage, but he's one of those backs that can wear you down defensively.
So Argo defense has been on the field a long time, beginning to wear down. Less than 2 minutes to go in the half. The Tiger Cats moving. 2nd and 3. Again, the handoff from the shotgun to Williams. He's got a block and hit hard. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you're right, but I tell you what, the guy that's responsible for stopping this play is Tyrone Rogers, who just gets incredible penetration, disrupts the momentum, and forces Ronald Williams to bounce it outside.
Watch Fred Perry, though.
I mean, look at 91 right there. That's a great job. That's a nice job, and I mean, your running back wants to find the hole, get to the hole as quick as possible. The defensive lineman will do anything he can to disrupt that momentum, and he does a great job, number 91 in Toronto, of doing that play.
The Kites have been successful on 3 third-down gambles, but this is long. 3rd and about 4 yards to go, and they're gambling with 1:38 and ticking to go in the half. McManus, far side, Griggs open. He's got it, knocked out of bounds for a first down. What do you think of that call?
Oh, I'm going to tell you something. If I had a hat on right now, I'd take it off and bow to Danny McManus. I mean, not only gambling 3rd and 4, but throwing cross field into the wind. I mean, just a nice job. Wayne Shaw playing too far off. You got to sit back there. You know it's 4 yards. Press the receiver a little bit. Make him earn it. That just looked too easy.
1st and 10 Ticats at the Argo 28. Grigg, who was flagged for rough play earlier. The big first down catch there. McManus, lots of time. Grigg again in front of Adrian Smith, and another Ticat first down. Winning himself back into the good books.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's almost a identical play to the last one right now. This time only he's working against Adrian Smith. They're playing too far off right now. They're so worried about getting beat deep. You see, he's got his back turned. As soon as he's got his back turned, he comes back to the football. There's no way that Adrian Smith, number 12, can come back and make a play on that football. It becomes an easy pass and catch for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
So McManus, who was 0 for 5 to start the game passing, finding some rhythm now on this series. First down at the 15 of the Argos. Time. McManus in the pocket, hit hard. It's complete at the goal line. Mike Morreale holds on after being rocked by Vernon Mitchell.
Another great stick by the safety. Albeit a little late right now, but look at the hit. Danny McManus hangs in there. Johnny Scott levels him, but not before the ball is thrown. Mike Morreale was coming off his best game last week, 5 catches. Nice possession right there at the goal line, and taking the hit by Vernon Mitchell, still hanging on to the football.
That's concentration by McManus to stand in there with big Johnny Scott bearing down. First and goal, Tiger Cats at the Argo 1-yard line. McManus hands off to Ronald Williams. He high steps in for a Hamilton touchdown.
Well, you know what? It's got to be weird. I'm watching the reaction. I'm watching the fans go crazy. I'm watching the players push each other. One of the players I'm seeing, Chris Burns, Calvin Tiggle, pushing each other after the play. These were 2 guys that loved each other last year when they were on the same team in the same locker room in Hamilton. But this year they're virtual enemies right now. And they just do a great job of getting on the linebackers, moving that defensive line, and allowing Ronald Williams to just prance into the end zone.
Williams with his 2nd touchdown on the ground, his 8th of the season. Osbaldiston with the convert, and the Tiger Cats have an 18-8 lead. And the Argos have got to be frustrated because that drive was kept alive by the late hit call on Tyrone Rogers.
You know what, Mark, that is so frustrating. And if you got to watch that tomorrow, unfortunately, you can't change it. But let's take a look at the line get out there. Look at Chris. Oh, Chris Burns. I'm going to tell you what, that is textbook. Watch number 55 coming to your screen. He gets down there. Unfortunately, look at him on Calvin Tiggle. Calvin Tiggle does what linebackers you're taught to do. Get down low, baby. Get the pads low underneath that offensive lineman. What does he do? That big son of a gun gets lower than Calvin Tiggle and takes him on his back. I tell you what, if I'm Ronald Williams, I'm taking these boys out for the dinner of choice come tomorrow.
The rumbling running back out of Clemson, Ronald Williams, with his 8th touchdown of the season. And it sounds like Chris Burns is making an early case for the Wallaby Warriors.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this offensive line is really impressing me. But yes, the guards are getting around the corner, making some key blocks. But you know what? I hate to bring up the negative. as you said, this is all a result of what we both agree on was a bad late hit call that allowed the Hamilton Tiger Cats to continue holding on to the football offensively. Should never have been a penalty. And if I'm going to say it to the referees, is let the guys play.
Williams, a moody ball player, not showing much emotion after a big touchdown. 18-8. Aussies, Ticats in front of the Argos with 1 minute and 2 seconds to go to the half here on Labor Day. Osbaldiston's kick hangs up in the wind. Taken by Tyrone Brown at the 25. And not much more. O'Shea again in on the tackle along with Jeff Johnson, the rookie out of York. A 51-yard kick and a 5-yard return, and there's Rogers.
Oh, well, look at him shaking his head. You know he's shaking his head because he cannot believe. I mean, they're doing everything they possibly can to stay in this football game, and unfortunately the flag goes against you. He can't do anything about it. It's all water under the bridge right now, but tomorrow is when it really stings. If, for some chance, and I'm not saying it's going to happen yet, they end up losing this football game by a narrow margin, boy, I tell you what, he won't be sleeping tonight. He'll have to take some tranquilizers.
The Argo offense finally back on the field after that long drive by the Cats, and the crowd trying to make it noisy for Kemp to run this offense. Kemp going deep. It's short for Brown and out of bounds. The rookie Nicholas Harper, one-on-one coverage there.
And you know, one of the things, you don't call Nicholas Harper's name out very much, and they're saying this kid is really having an outstanding rookie campaign right now. The quarterbacks around the league are starting to shy away from throwing to his side of the field. He's just that good of a cornerback right now.
Leads the Cats with 4 interceptions. He's got a forced fumble. Young kid, a rookie out of Fort Valley State College. Ever heard of it? Second, 10, Kemp. Pressure now from Word. Kemp dumps it off. It's complete to Ryan Terry, who steps out of bounds for a first down at the 40.
Well, on that particular play, they look like the Argos of old running a crossing route. Tyrone Brown and Daryl Mitchell doing a little bit of a pick or a rub play, if you would, across the middle. But great pressure from the Hamilton defense forces Kemp out. And, of course, he makes a great adjustment in getting the ball to Ryan Terry and picking up a crucial first down.
Kemp calling his own plays. The Argos doing away with the tight end offense that John Heward brought back to Toronto. This is like the offense they ran a year ago, getting Terry more involved in the game as well. Kemp down the middle. Mitchell had his hands on it, but he got clocked from Schelling and O'Shea. That was a dangerous catch to make.
Dangerous catch, but the ball was where it should be. Looked like Darryl just kind of slowed up. I think he opened his eyes and he saw there were 4 Ticats in the middle. He was going into the jungle house right there.
Got the alligator on.
He got the alligator. He kind of put him on recoil. Inspector Gadget pulled him back down, but as you say, I thought the ball was somewhere it needed to be, right in the middle, the center of those 4 defenders.
Second and 10. Argos, 38 seconds to go in the half. Bell on the sidelines. The backup today. Lots of time. Kemp wide side into a crowd. Andrew English has it for a first down. What a catch in traffic.
Nice throw. That is about a 40-yard throw for a first down. They only pick up 15 yards, but a great job. Now they're going to go a little hurry-up offense. Kemp is barking it out right now, not allowing them to get in the defensive huddle.
Kevin Brooks, the rookie corner, on the tackle, but 30 seconds to go till the half. Kemp, hurry up, rolling right, time ticking. It's tipped and incomplete. It looks like the rookie, Mark Word, got his hands on that.
Well, absolutely. He got his hands up, but a nice job of protection working. They're only rushing 3 guys. They're dropping 9 back. I mean, that's just a good job, but unfortunately, as you say, see Andre Kerwin waving his hands. Baby, come on, throw me the rock.
Well, Harper broke off his coverage there, and Kerwin out of Stanford was wide open. But Kemp didn't see him, or at least the ball couldn't get there after Word got his hands on it. Another second and 10 situation for Kemp. 21 seconds to go till the half. Movement, flags on the play. Kemp is hit as he releases. It's complete to Daryl Mitchell for a first down across the 45 of the Tiger Cats, but this could be coming back.
Well, I think that Jimmy Kemp's doing something also. He's changing the fluctuation in his cadence.
No, it's not going to be procedure, Argos. It looks like it could be offside Hamilton.
The initial indication by the linesman was offside, but now they're conferring with Coach Pinball, who has some clout now, being a coach.
Ken Lazarick explaining the choices for Pinball, and he's happy.
Offside, Hamilton, number 97, decline.
So word jumps the gun. The NFL cut in his first CFL game. 15 seconds to go till the half. First down, Argos at the Hamilton 45. Play whistled in. Kemp drops a snap, picks it up, and is manhandled by Montfort.
Oh, you just gotta feel for the Argonauts right now. I mean, they're starting to put a drive together, and then just a bad snap, and not the center's fault. Jimmy Kemp just drops the ball. He takes his head off the ball.
Frank Roca had the one over the head of Prefontaine, but this was fine.
Oh, no, it's right in his hands. He's got to take that. He tries to spin it to put the laces to his fingers. That's all he's trying to do.
The tough part is quarterbacks are often looking downfield as the ball comes up.
It's much like a golfer. They tell you to keep your head on the ball. Make sure you got that going before you swing. The same thing happened to Jimmy Kemp, and that's don't look downfield until you got the ball in your hands.
So the loss is about 7 on the fumbled snap from Roca to Kemp. Second, 17.
Big play.
Only 8 seconds to go. Could this be it?
It takes you out of field goal range as well, so that's a big play.
8 seconds to the half. 18-8. Ticats leading the Argos. Ticats in a prevent defense. Kemp scrambles out of the pocket by Fells. Montfort puts him down on the turf at the 42 with 2 seconds to go. Are they close enough for a field goal?
Well, I think with the win they are, and I like what Jimmy Kemp did. Rather than force a play, rather than force a throw, risking a turnover or an incompletion where it kept the ball probably 9 yards back, he scrambles, gets down, has enough presence of mind to get down with 2 seconds left on the clock, allowing Jacob Marini to try this 49-yard field goal.
His longest so far this season is 47, so this would be the longest of the year for Marini, and the Ticats have called a timeout to make him think about it.
Well, I think that's a good job, and I think Toronto's very fortunate because it looked like they were in a little bit of disarray as well. You saw Jacob Marini kind of pointing up there, making sure they're all in the right spot. For whatever reason, they look like there's a little...
Got Morreale and Greg along with the punter Osbaldiston in the end zone. Here's what's coming up on the CFL on CBC halftime show. We'll talk with Mike Clemens about his first week as a coach and player. We'll also have a preview of part 2 of our Labor Day doubleheader, the Stampeders and Eskimos. 3 men, 3 cats in the end zone on this 49-yard field goal attempt by Jacob Marini, Osbaldiston, Morreale, and Greg in the end zone. Here it comes. Has he got the leg? Long enough and good. A 49-yard field goal on the last play of the first half by Jacob Marini to pull the Argos closer. Ticats 18, Argos 11 at the half. Here's Scott.
Right, Mark. Here's Ron Lancaster of the Tiger Cats. Great poise showed by Danny McManus after a sputtering start. Are you happy that he's reestablished himself?
Yeah, I'm glad with the last part of that quarter, but up to then we hadn't done very much. And, you know, we sort of helped them get back in the ball game, and then they helped us with some bad snaps. So it's kind of been one of those games no coach likes.
A little bit of a reappearance of that Argo defensive in the first half there.
That's good defense. I'm telling you, they got some great people up front. Their front seven is excellent. They got all those veterans in the secondary. That's good defense.
Thanks, Ron. Good luck.
You bet.
There's Ron Lancaster of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Tiger Cats lead 18-11 after 2 quarters here at Iverwin Stadium. The Labor Day Classic continues on CBC.
I think
Sun shining now at Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton, Ontario, and the sun shining on the Hamilton Tiger Cats after a slow start. 18-11, they lead the Toronto Argonauts here in the Labor Day Classic at Iverwin. Well, in Toronto, the bizarre days of John Heward are over as head coach. They have a new one. He's the 38th head coach in Argonaut history. And in Pinball Clemens as the head man, the Argonauts have a man who has clout, charisma, and incredible knowledge of the game, and the support of all Argonaut fans.
There's another guy.
Getting the cold shoulder on the field. He's getting the cold shoulder. I don't even think the team is talking to him down there right now.
A man who needs no introduction, and I'd like to describe him as our only choice to be the 38th coach.
If I thought I couldn't do it, though, I wouldn't have taken it. That was certainly a big part of the decision. I did feel an onus, if you will, but I also felt that given time, that I could also get the job done, and that was the biggest part of the decision. You know, I can't, stress that enough, that I'm extremely inexperienced. As a matter of fact, no experience, but I do feel, given time, that we as a group can get the job done. I haven't been able to shave. Yes, it's been pretty busy. It's been pretty crazy. Just had it's a bevy of emotions. Just a great responsibility, an awesome responsibility, and this challenge. I mean, I haven't been this excited in I don't know how long. But I also realized the magnitude of it, and the thing that's going to be toughest for me is sort of being patient, because I realize that this can't happen overnight. It's Jimmy Kemp's huddle. He will run the huddle. Everything in there is predicated upon what he wants to do. Every once in a while, he asks me for a suggestion normally, and I'll give him a suggestion, but it's Jimmy Kemp's huddle. On the sideline, I'll do what really I normally do. I'll have input on the sideline, but I've had input on the sideline for the last 4 or 5 years, so I'll have input on the sideline. They might listen to me a little more this time, though. Pulling the quarterback is something that I don't want to do. I like quarterbacks to stay in. I mean, I think you stick with the guy, you give him a shot, and especially where we are in this, in context of the season right now, I think we want to give guys a chance and see what they can do, to see what we have. We have the same relationship to a large extent. I don't know if they see me the same way, but I still see them the same way, and they are my teammates. And you say as a coach, then they have to be now your players. But I think even teammates, I've always tried to look out of the best interest of my teammates, and I just see this as an extension. I just have, in a lot of cases, a greater ability to do so now. And so I think this relationship for me is good, the way it's worked out, and being in that locker room. I know there's going to be some things that are tough, and those things are going to arise, but we'll deal with those at the appropriate time.
As always, Pinball Clemens is a man of emotion, and he shows it here as the Argonauts get a touchdown in that first half of play. But it is the Hamilton Tiger Cats which have an 18-11 lead over the Argonauts as the Labor Day Classic continues from Ivor Wynne Stadium on CBC.
Pro Tips with Chris Walby. Brought to you by Dodge.
Hey, welcome to Pro Tips in sunny Hamilton. The quarterback, the key position, the main money maker, the decision maker. But we got to tell you one thing. The quarterbacks always have their one little secret play. With me today, MVP of the league last year, Mr. Danny McManus.
Hey, Chris. I got my secret play as the bootleg. I brought a couple guys here with me today. Here's Chris Burns going to be snapping me the ball. Archie Amerson's going to be my running back, and Gonzalo Floyd will be the defensive end. He's the key guy that we have to work on here, making everything look like a run. At the last second, I'll pull the ball from Archie and then just make it around the corner with nothing but green light in front of me for a touchdown. Here we go. Here's how it goes. Go. Take the snap. Make everything look like a run. As you see, Gonzo bit on the fake. I take it around the corner, see nothing but daylight in front of me, taking it all the way to the end zone.
And you can tell by that run, the man has got some speed, and that's why they call him the Magic Man. See you next time.
Here in Hamilton and Ivor Wynne, a sold-out crowd, 28,830 in attendance for the Labor Day Classic between the Toronto Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Of course, the Tiger Cats have an 18-11 lead at halftime. The second half of the Labor Day Classic comes your way from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. It's the Edmonton Eskimos to take on the Stampeders. The Stampeders are without their quarterback, Dave Dickinson. And to talk about how they'll fill that void, let's go for a preview to Steve Armitage.
Pressure in pro football is defined as making your first start at quarterback. Double, triple that pressure when you're making your first start for the Stampeders in the Labor Day Classic against the Eskimos. Case in point, Troy Cobb, who realizes how big, how important this game really is.
It's a big step because I got to really go out and prove to my teammates in Calgary that I belong here, that I can lead this team whenever Dave goes down, so it is a big game.
Troy Cobb, the man in the spotlight for the Stampeders. Nealon Green will be calling the signals for the Eskimos. It's the second half of the CFL doubleheader on CBC, the Stamps and Eskimos from McMahon Stadium in Calgary, and you'll see it immediately following the Toronto-Hamilton game.
Thank you very much, Steve. We'll look forward to that here in Hamilton. Archie Amerson and Ronald Williams have the touchdowns for the Tiger Cats. They have the lead. Let's go upstairs and join Mark Lee and Chris Walby. Fellas.
Thanks a lot, Scott. And the Tiger Cats are the only team really generating any offense in this football game. And once again, it's Archie Amerson, the deep strike threat through the air for the Cats.
You know, we talked about him in the pregame, the fact that he was a new go-to guy. You know, Danny McManus started off 0-5. Everybody's going, what's happening to Danny? What's happening to Danny? Nothing's happening to Danny. He just sometimes needs a little bit of time to get warmed up. Does a great job of finding Archie Amerson behind the usual reliable coverage of Adrian Smith. You're going to see him back here. Sits back by great protection. Throws a beautiful ball with the wind. As I said, Archie Amerson behind the usually very hard to beat Adrian Smith for a nice 50-yard touchdown.
Beautiful full strike catch. But the Argos have been getting lots of heat, lots of pressure on McManus, forcing him to throw off his back foot. That's why he's thrown 3 interceptions in the first half alone. And then this bad call really against Tyrone Rogers, which sustained that drive.
That there is supposedly roughing the passer. The biggest thing about that is it kept the Hamilton Tiger Cats offensive drive alive, which led to an eventual touchdown. And you know what, Mark? This game would be so much closer had that call not been called.
The Argo defense is really keeping them in this football game. They've got to get something going on offense. Look at this. Kemp's only thrown for 90 yards so far.
He's only thrown for 90 yards, but they show signs. The last drive they had to get 3 points from Jacob Marina, the field goal kicker, was a nice drive. They moved the ball when they had to at the end of the half. These are things they will build on, make necessary adjustments at halftime, and come out even more fired up.
And don't forget that heads-up play by Noel Prefontaine to throw the ball through the end zone for a safety touch when he could have been tackled for a loss and turned the ball over on the 1-yard line.
Absolutely smart.
It's a great football game, though, at the half. It's 18-11. The Ticats leading the Argos. We're set for the second half kickoff when we come back to sunny Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton.
Back with the Labor Day Classic, 18-11 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats over the Argos after 1 half of play. Here's Wally Highsmith acting as head coach today, running the defense. How's it looking, Wally?
Well, it's looking good. We just got to stop making mistakes that we hurt ourselves on. I think overall we come back out here, it's this half, play sound football, don't hurt ourselves. And like I said, the defense, we got to make about 3 or 4 big plays, stop them from scoring, and we'll see what happens there. I think we can play a pretty good defensive half this time.
All week long, your club's been riding a little bit of a high because Pinball was named the coach. You think you can ride that a little bit longer and make some ground here?
Oh, that ended the first 5 minutes. I think we're playing, we know how to play football. We just, like I said, these guys are riding that. But that was just the first 5 minutes. Right now, they're playing football, and we just got to realize we're playing football.
Wally, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Wally Highsmith of the Toronto Argonauts. Back up to Mark and Chris.
Thanks, Scott. And the Argos have got to keep their offense on the field. In the second quarter, they were on for 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Ticats on for 12 minutes and 5 seconds. The first half, it's 19:55, 20 minutes of that first half for the Tiger Cat offense.
You know what? And if you're Toronto right now, you can look at that stat and go, oh my God, you know what? But you look at the scoreboard, they're only down by 7. So, you know, they're right in the game. You can say, you know what? We've thrown that first half out now. Make the adjustments at halftime that we need to make ourselves more successful in the second half. This game is all about making the proper adjustments at the proper time. I think you'll see who's making the better ones in the second half, and that'll determine the eventual winner.
Danny Mac threw 3 interceptions in that first half, 1 touchdown pass. Kemp was conservative. He threw no touchdown passes and no interceptions and only for 90 yards. We'll see what Danny Mac does with the wind. It's been a problem for him. Also the pressure, as we mentioned at the halftime.
The pressure definitely has been, as we see Darren Flutie there. He's got his helmet back on.
And the ice is gone.
It's a good sign. But I think the biggest thing that Hamilton did last, you know, the first half, which I liked, was they ran the ball. They got
Well, the wind has just blown the ball off the tee for Prefontaine. The Argos, of course, won the toss to start this game, and they will take the win in the fourth quarter, the long quarter.
And what they're saying is they want us, this is a big, big quarter. Obviously, given Hamilton the win in the third quarter, you really want to keep it close. Keep them out of the end zone if at all possible. Keep it close till the fourth quarter, and they'll have an opportunity to pull out a victory.
They're going to have to pin the ball. The wind is so strong as Prefontaine kicks it off for the Argos from the 35. The wind holds it up. Amerson takes it at his 21. Amerson going straight through the heart of the Argo special teams, and he's thrown down by Michael Jenkins. The halftime statistics.
Well, you look at Hamilton, as we talked about before, obviously the big edge in first downs right here, the big edge in time of possession right here. But this is what's killed Hamilton right now. This game would not be even closer if it hadn't been for the 3 interceptions. That's the big key right now, turnovers right there. Net yards, obviously 168 to 47, but I think the interception by Danny Mack, by Wayne Shaw for the touchdown has kept Toronto in this game.
Adrian Smith with his first interception of the season this afternoon. McManus with the win, goes wide side. It's complete. That one hung up too for a while. Darren Flutie, his first catch since being injured, had a whiplash on the tackle on that interception.
Well, you know,
in the
this
first
guy,
half.
he's so tough. I mean, he's so resilient. He takes a beating. And you talk about inside receivers, you have to go over the middle. You know you're going to take a beating. The best ones thrive on it. They know they're going to get a hit, but they make the catch. Alan Pitts in Calgary obviously being the supreme one. They just do all such a great job of knowing where to go, make the catch, and be able to play a whole game knowing they're going to get hit.
He's durable for a small man, 5'10", 178. McManus, 2nd and 5, across the middle. It's complete to Andrew Grigg on close coverage by Adrian Smith. That ball had to be threaded like a needle.
Well, you know, Adrian Smith gets up, smacks his hands together, so they can't believe it. I almost got my hand in the ball, but what a throw. Just past the outstretched hands of Adrian Smith. Look at him dive for that. And great concentration by the receiver, Andrew Grigg, to hold that ball in.
Grigg approaching 500 yards receiving at the halfway point of this season. He's also on target for 1,000. In fact, there are 4 Ticat receivers who could all reach 1,000 yards this season. McManus hands off to Williams. Williams finds a crack. And then he's wrestled down by Glenn Young.
Well, they like that little counter trap where they pull the front side and the backside guard. That time, big Gary Brown knocks his defender outside. Ronald Williams takes a stutter step, comes back inside. See him come back in there through the grain, against the grain, into the heart of the defense where Glenn Young wraps him up, but not before he picks up 4 yards.
2nd and about 6. Ticats moving the ball, though. Just shy of the 35 of the Argonauts. Here comes the blitz. McManus dumps it off for Williams, but it's behind him. And Calvin Tiggle was right there. Looked like Perry may have got his hand on that, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. You see number 93, Fred Perry, on the blitz. They protect inside out, as every good offensive line will do. Make the pressure come from the outside.
But look at this.
You see Kerwin Bell with the ball in his hands. There's his plays right there. He's got his play selection on his hand. But he is warming up. He has been throwing the football. Will we see him, Mark?
Perhaps trying to influence Coach Clemens and Coach Highsmith. Clemens did tell me he does have the authority in this game as a playing coach to pull the quarterback should he decide to. Here's a field goal attempt from Osbaldiston from the 43. With the win, it's good. Osbaldiston good on 92% of his field goals, and another beauty there to open a bigger lead for Hamilton. Here's the quarterback comparison. Danny McManus has completed just 1 more pass than Jimmy Kemp, but look at the yardage, about double.
About double, but remember, we have the one big play in here for 50 yards on the touchdown pass to Archie Amerson.
And 3 interceptions by McManus into the wind, playing with the wind right now, though, and leading an opening drive to start the second half that resulted in that 43-yard field goal by Osbaldiston.
But I'll tell you what, if you're sitting in that Hamilton dugout right now, you just know that you got him at your skip. I don't care if he throws 300 interceptions. You know with him, you always have a chance to win.
Kemp in the shotgun. Play action pass to Terry. Rolling left. He'll put the ball down and run as Willie Fells flushes him out of bounds. Very close to a first down.
We saw Jimmy Kemp do this on the last drive of the first half to get them in field goal range. And again, he's not going to force the football downfield against the wind. He sees that they're all covered, takes what he can, picks up 9 positive yards, put him in seconds in a short situation.
This is Kemp's game to call, calling his own plays for the first time this season. Jeff Cummins is on the D line for the Tiger Cats. He was injured in the first quarter. 2nd and 1. Give is to Ryan Terry. Meets with Montford. Driven back right at the first down marker. Very close. and it's a first down, Argonauts. Montford was just hugging Pinball Clemens there after that play. A lot of good nature, goodwill displayed towards the pinball in this stadium.
You know, I remember playing, and they used to say, never talk to your opponents, but how do you not talk to a guy that smiles all the time?
Pinball was saying the other day, fans were yelling at him on the bench, Argos suck, but not you, Pinball. First down, pitch out, reverse. Daryl Mitchell gets a block, tries to get outside. And he's got a first down for the Argos across midfield.
Well, this is why you put the ball in this man's hands. I mean, he is such a outstanding open field runner. He's got great vision. I mean, he makes people miss. It's just an end out reverse. Come from the left side all the way to the wide side of the field. But look at the shake and bake. He makes people miss. He right there, he cuts back inside of Brooks right there. You see Clifford Ivory coming there. Rob Hitchcock's trying to lean in there. Mike O'Shea and Woodson have to finally come over and wrap him up, but not before a big first down.
Yeah, he splits the rookies, Ivory and Brooks, for the big first down. Argos marching now at the 51-yard line. Pressure now from behind. It's Montford with his second sack of the game.
Well, he is just making films are going to be a nightmare for, you know, young Yul Kim, because right now he has had his hands really full with Montford. And I tell you, when you know you're going to get this pressure, sometimes you want to keep it back in there. You can see he tries to cut him. That's usually what a lineman, an offensive lineman, will do as a last resort. He knows he's getting beat. He'll try and change it up and chop the legs out. But on that play, Montford would have none of it and just chases him down for another sack, the second of the game.
2 sacks, yes, and 8 for the season, leading the CFL. Second and 12. Kemp in trouble again.
And that's what a sack will do. The sack had nothing to do with that play, but I tell you what, it carries over. It does carry over, because as an offensive line, you're going, oh, God, not another one. You know, Yul Kim is just saying, oh, I got to go to film tomorrow. I got to watch that nightmare the coach is going to break. Back and forth and back and forth. Your head's not in the next play. You got to forget about it, make the next one better, so he forgets about the previous.
O'Shea gets credit for the sack. He's still bitter at the Argos, trading him on the opening day of training camp, without giving him a chance to show that he could be an asset to their defense. Amerson on the punt return. There's a flag down, and he comes down very quickly near the sideline. The Cats take over after their defense stops a promising Argo drive. It's 21-11 Hamilton. Back at Ivor Stadium, and there are the owners, George Grant of the Tiger Cats and Sherwood Schwartz, enjoying his first Labor Day Classic as owner of the Toronto Argonauts. And it doesn't look too friendly in there.
Well, it's not too bad. I think that Sherwood right here is trying to get the other guy to sign an insurance waiver right now. He's trying to sell him a little insurance up there. You know, every dollar counts.
Ticats on offense now at their own 37-yard line, with a 10-point lead here in the third quarter over the Argos. McManus looking deep downfield for Andrew Gregg. It's no good. Very close to being intercepted by Wayne Shaw. He had his hands on it. So did Gregg. They were struggling on the sideline, but it's incomplete.
What a nice job. I tell you what, Andrew Gregg did not give up on that football. The fact that he did not release the football prevented an interception by Wayne Shaw. They both get their hands on it. He initially, look at him, he's got his hands on it. Wayne Shaw has actually got that football. That's a nice job by Andrew Gregg to not allow that. Great protection. Danny McManus steps right in there. His offensive line is giving him great vision downfield. That's what you want to do. Push the defenders to the outside, open up a line of vision, and they're doing an excellent job on that play.
And not throwing off his back foot as he did in the first half. Hitch pass. It's complete to Darren Flutie. Flutie gets some blocks and gets up to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play. He looks no worse for wear after sustaining that neck injury in the first half.
And a nice job again. I mean, we always talk about a guy that throws the football or the guy that catches the football. A lot of times we forget about the other people. And I tell you, on that play, for it to be successful, you got Mike Morreale and Archie Amerson who have to get to their respective defensive backs and cornerback and block them outside or block them inside to create a lane. They do a great job allowing Darren Flutie to take that football up.
The Ticats are 2 yards short, 3rd and 2, and Osbaldiston stands at his own 30. Griggs saving what looked to be a Wayne Shaw interception on that long pass from McManus. Osbaldiston taken by Brown at the 21. He's got some speed, gets a block, and then is knocked down inadvertently by Kyle Walter on the play, one of the top special team tackers on the Tiger Cats.
Looking for an all-purpose tire like the Goodyear Wrangler RTS? Come to Canadian Tire. We've got what you need to get away.
Jimmy Kemp coming back on to try again. His team down by 10, but in this Labor Day Classic. And you have to wonder whether they'll go to Kerwin Bell. He hasn't had much time to practice. How familiar would he be with the Argo playbook? They've been changing it so much this week.
I don't think you go to Kerwin Bell until it's an absolute last resort. Because what will you do to Jimmy Kemp if you do that? You'll crush him.
Kemp with time. Complete to Andre Kerwin at the 30-yard line. A short game on the play.
But you know what? And, you know, Mark, one of the things I'm very surprised, you've got these burners. You've got Daryl Mitchell. You got Tyrone Brown. They have not stretched the Hamilton defense. Go down the seam. Throw it deep. At least get the guys to turn their backs and run. What Hamilton's secondary is doing is they're playing the game all in front of each. They're all facing the quarterback. They're not turning it all, and it's easy to play that way.
But don't forget, they're going into this stiff wind. That cost McManus 3 interceptions in the first half. It looked like they're going to try to run the shovel pass to Mitchell. Instead, they bail out and complete it to Brown. A great second effort by Jimmy Kemp. They were trying to set up the shovel.
That is a play out of the old Argo playbook right there. They used to run it. Flutie ran that to perfection. Doug Flutie. He used to do the little shovel pass if it was there. If it was covered, he'd keep rolling outside and he'd have a secondary receiver. Just an excellent job of execution there by Jimmy Kemp.
Watch Mitchell coming from the backside underneath. There he is. Well, he got hit.
Well, that is taken away. That's right, penetration, but that's the secondary. Tyrone Brown at the top of your screen is a secondary receiver.
Good read by Kemp and a first down for the Argos. Stepping up, across the middle, it's complete to Pinball. Short of the first down.
But doing a nice job of mixing it up right now. No, they're not running the football, but they're spreading the football around a little bit. We talked about going open backfield. They're finding the holes in the zone right there. He just sits down there right in front of Woodson, makes the catch. Nice job.
Interim coach likes that as Coach Clemens gets his first catch of the game. Second down and about 4. Nobody in the backfield. 6 receiver set. Kemp going downfield. It's intercepted by the rookie. Sean Woodson has it for the Tiger Cats. The ball was underthrown. The first interception of the game for Jimmy Kemp. 7 linemen in the game for the Tiger Cats. They stay on the ground. Ronald Williams is stacked up, though. Nowhere to run as Tyrone Rogers gets in his road.
Well, the defense is back on the field as a result of the interception. Jimmy Kemp got time to throw. He tries to throw it out. Ball looks like it slips a little bit out of his hands. And as a result, it carries in the wind. He's trying to get Daryl Mitchell. Sean Woodson comes back. Nice job of interception. And Jimmy Kemp is not happy right there. He's trying to get it. He was starting to get a little momentum there. And nothing like an interception to kill that.
You could see in the replay how the wind was taking the spiral off the ball. And that tends to allow the ball to float. It was picked off by Woodson. McManus, second down, across the middle, it's tipped. Intercepted! Byron Capers has the ball for the Argos. Roger Dunbrack got his hand on it and took the spiral off that pass from McManus. That's 4 interceptions from Danny Mack, and the Argo defense comes up big again for Toronto. Back at Hamilton, where Danny McManus looks the same after a 4th interception in the game or after a touchdown pass.
Well, he just sits back in the pocket, and, you know, the ball is just a little bit deflected. See, Roger Dunbrack. But this is why the defensive backs do what's called a tip drill. The first defender will tip it up in the air, and the second defensive back will catch it. And that paid off, boy, I tell you. Capers, right? Johnny on the spot.
Again, the Argo defense prevailing against the Cat offense, which has the wind in this quarter. Play action pass, good fake. Pass outside by Kemp. He falls down, intended for Daryl Mitchell. incomplete.
Well, I think that he's going to want to skip past that play. It looked like he wanted to get the ball there so hard. He threw with so much velocity that he actually fell on his face there, and the ball floated out of bounds. You know, it's almost like he's trying so hard to get that completion.
Well, any pass thrown in that direction right into the wind has to be hard.
That's right. The wind is coming from the side of the benches, and it's a heavy wind down in that field.
Kemp starting with good field position on his own 51, 2nd and 10. Again, 6 receiver set, straight back to pass, down the middle, no good, intended for Darryl Mitchell. Chris Schelling with the knockdown for the Tiger Cats.
Well, that was on a needle there. I tell you what, he was between number 17 Woodson, Willie Fells, the middle linebacker, dropped back into coverage, but the ball was there. It hit Mitchell, but unfortunately could not come up with a catch.
Schelling, the number 2 tackler on this Tiger Cat defense, with a key knockdown to force the Argos into a punt situation. 4:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. 4:20 left with the win for the Tiger Cats as Prefontaine gets set to boot it into the breeze. Keeps it low, spiral, line drive taken by Amerson at the 25. He's got some speed and finally hauled down by Andrew English across the 35-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines, and here's Scott.
Thanks very much, Mark. First year in 12 that Leroy Blue has not been playing the Labor Day Classic in Calgary for the Edmonton Eskimos. Now with the Toronto Argonauts, you'll play next week. Is that right, Leroy?
That's right. Coach Clemens told me that they want me to go in too early, risk injury or something like that. So be ready to go next weekend.
What about the look of the Argo D? It looks like it's starting to pick things up a little bit, holding you in the game today.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect when I got here, but you know, when you practice for 2 days and we don't wear pads and you don't get to see a lot. There are a lot of good young ball players there. There's a lot of good things can happen.
Excited to have Pinball as the coach?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a great guy and he's a great leader, and I think he's going to do a lot for the football club.
Leroy, thanks. Good luck with the Argos.
Thanks very much.
Leroy Blue, Mark.
Well, Scott, a lot of CFL veterans suddenly popping up in the Argo camp. Eddie Brown is set to arrive and will be in the lineup taking Pinball Clemens' receiver position next week against Winnipeg.
Well, downtown Eddie Brown's got a bit of a reputation of saying he's an undisciplined player, but if anybody can straighten him up, it's Pinball. I mean, you see a lot of people coming out because they want to play for Mike. That's the thing. That's the difference right now.
2nd down and 3 after the hitch pass to Archie Amerson. Ticats trying to take advantage of the wind at their back. Play action. Pass is complete to Darren Flutie, and the Tiger Cat first down out of bounds just shy of center field.
Well, you got to love that this is a key breaker. What I mean by that is you run. It looks like they're going to run that same counter play with Ronald Williams. The defense flows to Ronald Williams. All Danny Mac does is he takes the ball, goes against the flow, finds an opening. Darren Flutie just finding a little hole, makes a nice grab, possession grab, and keeps the drive alive.
Soft coverage there on the corner from Adrian Smith. First down, Tiger Cats. Ball at their own 52. Another play action of the shotgun. Complete to Amerson. He's hit hard at center field by Wayne Shaw. They've had words earlier in this game, and Shaw has a few more.
Well, you gotta like the way the Argonauts are playing defense. I mean, they're playing aggressive smash mouth football. You're going to make the catch underneath. We're going to give you that. But look at this. I mean, helmet right on the numbers textbook. That's what you want to do. Make him pay. Hey, if you can hit him like that and he's only going to pick up 3 yards, you won the battle.
Yes, 2nd and long situation now for the Cats. As the sophomore Shaw is having a great game on defense for Toronto. McManus deep. Complete to Corey Grant. Breaks a tackle on Smith and he's gone. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. Just like that, McManus strikes 55 yards to Corey Grant and his first touchdown of the season.
And there's your emotion. Danny Mac just undoes the chin strap, snaps it up to the other side of his helmet, walks off. Oh, well, another day at the office. But as you say, big plays. We saw it early in the first half, Archie Amerson. This time, you see Corey Grant working again against Adrian Smith, who's really not having a great day at the office today. But what a catch in traffic, hauls it in, doesn't lose stride, and when he's in the open field, not many people are going to catch Corey Grant.
Point after by Paul Balderson is good as Grant celebrates, the sophomore out of Wilfrid Laurier, and his first touchdown catch of the season, and that was a thriller.
Well, big time. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
You know, just as we talked about the Argo defense bending but not breaking, they break big time on this play. McManus, Smith pushing at the back of Grant, actually pushed him by the second Argo defender who may have had a chance to make the tackle. And Danny Mack finally shows some excitement.
That's a dance for him right there. Boy, he's shaking it. You know what? There might be a couple nightclubs that want to call him, put him in the cage.
There's the Danny Mack numbers. 2 touchdown passes so far in this game to go with his 4 interceptions. With 2 bombs, one to Grant, the other to Archie Amerson. Wow. And now the Cats have control at 28-11.
And the big thing is you only got 2 minutes more with the win. And that's the thing. They had to put some points on the board with the win because field position becomes such a key part in the 4th quarter. Toronto, if they play smart, can have great field position because of this win.
As Baldwin's kick into the corner and out of bounds. They'll have to do it again and move it back.
Well, I don't think that Ozzie is really happy with that kick up. He's trying to pin him back deep in the corner. It's just a left corner kick. They call it before he kicks the football. Toronto's not going to elect to have him kick. They're just going to take the ball.
Take the ball at the 45, which is excellent field position.
Absolutely.
There's Cody Ledbetter, the backup quarterback, who was out after breaking his ankle badly August 4th here on the turf at Ivor Wynn against Edmonton, having words with Darren Flutie. He's on a peg leg like device. There it is there. He's just had his second surgery on the ankle, allows him to keep his muscles flexed and do away with the crutches.
Well, he's also got the lead in the movie Long John Silver.
Well, he needs a little cup holder there. Argos on offense. Kemp trying to get something going here in the 3rd quarter. And his pass is errant. Looked like it was intended for Tyrone Brown. Good coverage by the Cat defense.
Well, good coverage, but you know, you mentioned it earlier, it's time. The defense has done all it can. It has given up 2 or 3 big plays, but they've played relatively sound football today. The offense has got to start moving the football, start taking advantage and put some points on the board. You can't keep going 2 and out and expecting your defense to come to your rescue.
Argos are 2 touchdowns and a field goal behind. A minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. Into the win for them. Pressure up the middle from Fells. It's complete to Daryl Mitchell, and he's rocked on the play by Sean Woodson, the rookie. What a hit.
Well, I tell you what, initially Toronto got what they wanted. Mitchell across the middle. He's just going to drag over the line of scrimmage. Look at him. But look at Sean Woodson, number 17, coming off his man, making a great hit. That's just a smart Johnny on the spot. Pressure by Willie Fells coming up the middle, the Mac linebacker. Joe Montford, who's always around the quarterback. But just a nice job by Sean Woodson.
Kemp with a good read to release the ball quickly to Mitchell, but the other linebacker, Woodson, was there. Short punt taken by Grant. Upfield. Breaks a couple of tackles, finally dragged down, but close to center field. An excellent field position for Danny Mack and the Ticat offense.
On the lookout for performance tires like the BF Goodrich Radial TA? Come to Canadian Tire. Just remember, you're not the only one on the lookout.
Sean Woodson, the rookie out of Jackson State. His 4th game with the Cats after replacing Lamar McGriggs, the veteran who was cut after coach Ron Lancaster decided he was too much of a freelancer on this Don Southern defense. And so going to the rookie, they haven't given up much. He's had a great game.
You got 5 guys back there, rookies.
5 rookies in his Cat defense. McManus tries to go deep again to Flutie. Very close. Yeah, 5 rookies on the Cat defense and only 5 returning players from the defense that won the Grey Cup 1 year ago.
Well, they're just younger and they're stronger and they feel they're getting better all the time and getting ready for playoffs. And look at this, Danny Mack again on a rope,
on the tips,
and just off the fingertips of Darren Flutie. Or again, another big play.
So McManus taking advantage of the wind at his back. 26 seconds to go before they'll change ends. Downfield, Flutie's got it, breaks a tackle. from Donovan Carter and gets across the 45-yard line.
Well, much is being said over the years of Danny McManus's career about how when he starts to find the groove, he becomes hot, and it's almost impossible to stop because he never gets hit. But this is on a rope right there. He sits back there. It's a timing pattern. He knows where Darren Fluty's going to be, and the ball is right where it should be. A nice throw, nice catch, and hey, they're having fun out there.
That's 800 career receptions for Darren Fluty. Hand off from the shotgun. Ronald Williams sidesteps, dropped for a short gain on first down. Fluty now 4th all-time on the career reception list with his 800th catch of the year here at Ivor Wynne Stadium. It's 28-11. The Ticats in control with 1 quarter to go in the Labor Day Classic. Well, welcome back to Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. And that chap on the left drives. He's a season ticket holder here at Ivor Wynne. He drives all the way from Belleville, Ontario. That's a 4-hour drive one way just to be at these games.
Well, I'm just glad they let your in-laws in here.
He's got your old helmet on, isn't he?
He's having fun, and that's what it's all about.
Here's the third quarter numbers.
Well, take a look. I mean, 17 first downs. The net yards. I mean, you are not going to win any football games. I don't care how well your defense plays when you only got 87.
Play action, McManus into the wind and incomplete. Intended for Andrew Grigg at the Ticat bench.
I mean, when you're going into the 4th quarter with under 100 yards offense, you know, you mentioned to me earlier now, did I expect to see Kerwin Bell? I must admit, I really did not anticipate it. But now I'm thinking, with the game on the line, they got the win. Will there be a possibility that they'll say, you know what? We've got to try something to shake it up a little bit here, even if it's just a couple series. Maybe we should give Kerwin a shot.
Ron Lancaster said yesterday, it's not that difficult as long as he gets the blocking assignments right with his offensive line. He knows the playbook. He can make up some plays. We'll see. Osbaldiston with a great boot into the wind. Tyrone Brown at his own goal line. There's a flag on the play as he's tackled at about the 5. Poor field position for the Argonauts, but we'll see what the call is.
Well, a couple of flags thrown in a play, Mark, and you know, I know that Tyrone Brown was a little worried about if he let that ball bounce, would it bounce out and not in the end zone. I think he took a chance, and as you say, fielded it.
Major foul, spearing, Hamilton, number 27, first down.
Warren Muzica, the special teams ace, with a spear, a very dangerous tackling method.
Well, there you see number 27. He's going to come in right now as he's going down. He leads with the helmet. Actually goes over the side of Tyrone Brown. But anytime they see you leading with the helmet, almost as in a torpedo type technique, they're going to throw that flag.
Muzica backing up Willie Fells at the middle linebacker spot. And that helps get the Argos out of the shadows of their own goalposts. They'll scrimmage 1st and 10 at their own 20. Pitch pass complete to Tyrone Brown. Brown breaks some tackle, spins, still going, and finally drilled by the safety, Rob Hitchcock, but not until he gets a first down. So the Argos digging themselves out.
But you wonder sometimes, you really wonder, why is it that some teams wait to the 4th quarter to come alive and use weapons that they have? I mean, you don't go into battle and leave some of your weapons at home. I mean, get this guy the ball. Him and Daryl Mitchell are two of the more explosive receivers after they catch the football.
Argos down by 17. 1 quarter to go. They've got the win. Kemp yet to throw a touchdown pass. Looks for English. It's complete across the 50-yard line. So Jimmy Kemp now throwing with authority with the wind at his back. And he hits the Canadian out of UBC, 4th-year man Andrew English.
Well, there's Paul Mazzotti, the VP of operations for the Toronto Argonauts now, a real clutch go-to receiver for over 11 years or 12 years with the Toronto Argonauts. And, you know, he's rumored also to be coming back and maybe helping out with the offense.
Well, they approached him about putting the pads back on. Another completion out of bounds, this one to Daryl Mitchell. And you can see how the passing attack has changed with the change of ends. Kemp throwing with more authority now.
And more so than that, Mark, I mean, I know the wind's a big factor, but I do like the way that Jimmy Kemp is spreading the ball to the left sideline, to the right sideline, over the middle. You've got to mix it up. If you let Hamilton's defenders play within the box or between the tackles and you just throw the ball there, it's going to be a long game. Spread them out.
Second down, just under 3 to go. Camp in the shotgun. He'll pass, going deep. Oh! Daryl Mitchell was open, and he was tripped up by Chris Schelling, but there's no flag on the play, although he's appealing.
Whoa. I tell you what, that is a judgment call by that referee. But 9 out of 10 times when you see even they get their feet tangled like that, there will be a flag thrown. Very, very fortunate if you're a Hamilton fan that a flag was not thrown, because it looked initially like Daryl Mitchell did have a step on him.
Shot to carry, talking to Kerwin Bell on the bench, but no call on what looked like a classic pass interference. Doesn't matter if it's incidental. Daryl Mitchell was open. It's a third down gamble for the Argos, and they're going for it. They need 2, and they're going to pass. Kemp. Time. Complete to Daryl Mitchell, but I don't think he's got it.
Well, it's all going to depend.
Very close. Oh, he got a good spot, and the crowd's gone wild.
Oh, you're right, Mark. I mean, it always comes down to where the linesman or the back judge, whoever's on that side, marks the forward progress.
Oh, what a spot. Look at where he makes the catch.
This time, the linesman gives him the call and the first down.
Look at that. He's 1 yard across the stripe, and he gets an extra yard on the spot. Here's Kemp scrambling on first down. Gets away from O'Shea and finally goes down. Gain of about 3, but there's a flag on the play, and it's coming back.
They're going to call holding right now. Anytime it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage in the offensive backfield, 9 out of 10 times it's going to be holding. And there's a lot of finger pointing going on out there. And this is something you can't have happen. Anytime you're starting to build the momentum a little bit.
Holding, Toronto, number 67, first down repeated.
So Jung-Yo Kim gets called for holding.
Well, you know, he's having a rough game. He's had to block Joe Montford. He's given up a couple sacks to him earlier. And, you know, he's just going to put the clamp on him right there. You can see he's hugging him.
That's a headlock.
He's got the headlock on him. He's doing whatever he can to keep him off the quarterback. And that time he got called.
First down repeated, but a mile to go. Kemp blitz, dumps it off. It's complete to Ryan Terry, but Nicholas Harper, the rookie quarterback, is there to fill.
You know, Hamilton's got a lot of young guys in here, and I tell you what, one of the things they have is team speed on defense. I mean, what looks like an open play when Ryan Terry initially catches the dump off from Kemp, it is quickly swarmed. I mean, look. Hello, Jimmy. How resistant is that jersey to turf burn?
Hitchcock on the safety blitz, putting a lick on Jimmy Kemp, and now it's second down. They've got to get to the 38-yard line of the Tiger Cats. Kemp dumps it off. It's nearly intercepted by Woodson.
Well, you know what? Let's give some credit to the defensive coordinator of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Don Southern, who's called what I consider just a tremendous game defensively to come with the blitz at the proper time. You know, everything's a gamble in this game. You throw the dice, you see what happens. Safety blitz. Rob Hitchcock coming up right there, getting his hands up, forcing Jimmy Kemp to throw the football. Almost gets picked off, but at the worst, it's incomplete. I mean, you got to say, hey, smart defense. 2
plays in a row. Hitchcock, the safety, comes on the blitz and thwarts the Argo attack. High punt from Prefontaine. Amerson misjudged it and just caught it, diving to the turf. And the Cats will scrimmage 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. (10:17 to go in part 1 of our Labor Day doubleheader. The Ticats in control, leading the Argos 28-11. As Ronald Williams straps it on and gets set to go. The Ticats scrimmaging from their own 16-yard line. After a misjudged punt return by Archie Amerson, nearly proved disastrous, made a diving catch on the turf to keep control of the ball.
Well, they're running a double tight, Mark. They got a tight end to one side.
They bring in the extra lineman.
Run!
And it's a running play to Williams, spinning off one tackle, finally knocked to the turf by Glenn Young. Gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Well, this is where it becomes fun. You know, you got a 17-point lead, 9:40 left and ticking. I mean, you can start laying out. You can start running the football. You can start taking time off the clock, and you really start enjoying yourself out there. And, you know, you want to really let these guys know that I'll see you again, but I'm going to leave my mark on you right now.
So the Tiger Cats trying to run the clock down, playing conservative football deep in their own end. They'll pass on 2nd and 5. It's complete to Amerson. He's wide open and more. Amerson across the 40. Makes a move and finally tracked down by Martavius Houston after a huge gain close to the 50-yard line. Make it 27 yards. A pass and run to Amerson.
Well, the run does set up the pass, and no better example than the last 2 plays. They ran the ball, and look at this. Archie's just sitting wide open underneath coverage. They're bringing everybody else in there. He's in front, and then it becomes a foot race. Martavius Houston coming over and finally laying the lick on him, bringing him down, but not before a huge gain.
Amerson came in to this season, his previous best 750 yards. He has 107 so far. That's 749. 1 yard shy of his best, and he's only halfway through the season. McManus with a rare scramble for a first down out of bounds.
Well, and you know what? I had the opportunity to play with Danny in Winnipeg, and he revealed on that Wallabies pro tip at halftime that he has a, as he calls, a naked bootleg. He likes to pull it every once in a while. Look at this example. And those of you that think that he can't run, look at the big man. Yeah. Woo, he's got some wheels on him, eh?
Leaking oil after about 5 yards there, but he made it.
He's just an old diesel engine, that's all.
First down on a scramble by McManus. The Sally Rand, rarely employed.
Well, Toronto's defense has got to tighten up right now. If they got any chance, get the ball back to their offense.
They'll stay on the ground to give us to Ronald Williams. Bulldozing his way for about 5 yards, close to the 45 of the Argonauts.
Well, what's happening right now is the defenders of Toronto are in a catch position. They're catching the blocks of that big offensive line. And of course, if they do beat the block of the offensive line, they got that big load. Number 24, Ronald Williams, coming at him like a train. And anytime you're picking up 5 yards and first down, you got to love it. Opens up your whole playbook for 2nd and short.
Williams running behind an O-line that has 4/5. The O-line that went to the Grey Cup last year with the return of the left tackle, Seth Dittman.
Well, I think they've eaten 4/5 of all the ice cream in Hamilton.
Play action. McManus complete to Flutie for a short gain right at the first down marker at the 40. Very close, just shy of the 40-yard line.
You know, you just love, it's a really a privilege to watch a surgeon like McManus when he gets hot and he gets on a roll. His passes are so sharp, his decision making is so quick.
They'll have to measure this one. McManus does not allow himself to get frustrated. As you mentioned earlier, 0 for 5 to start the game. He's thrown 4 interceptions. But right now, look at this. 20 completions and 34 attempts for 295 yards.
Well, you know, he was under 50% passing in the first half, and he just picks it up. That's the thing with Danny McManus. Never count the guy out, and that's why the team loves him. He is such a team guy.
Darren Flutie knows exactly where that first down marker is, and he has it for the Tiger Cats. 1st and 10, just shy of the Toronto 40-yard line. Williams will take the pitch out left. Big hole for Ronald Williams. Runs up with straight arms Adrian Smith, who rides him out of bounds at the Ticat bench.
Well, I just love this. I just love to watch the big hoggies pull around like this. I mean, there's nothing like this. You know, I'm not a guy that usually has a cigarette, but I feel like having one right now watching this.
A reminder that coming up, Troy Kopp will lead the Stampeders into battle at quarterback against the Eskimos, subbing for Dave Dickinson, who sprained his knee against Montreal last week, and Nealon Green, the young starter for the Eskimos, in what should be a thriller. A sellout crowd at McMahon awaiting part 2 of our Labor Day doubleheader. 2nd down and 4. McManus pumps once, goes deep, open. Darren Flutie at the 10 and driven out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Well, we talked about it. You can beat that story to death, but when you run the ball effectively, it just opens up so much. And right now, this is a discouraged a beat-up group of defenders on the Toronto side of the ball. They've done everything they can to try and stay in this football game, but eventually the dam broke, and, you know, wide open. I mean, nice pump fake by the quarterback, Danny McMahon. Look at it, bring it down, freeze the defender. Darren Flutie keeps running. Nice job.
Flutie with the wheel route on Martavius Houston, and he got open as Highsmith looks dejected. First down and goal from the 5. Ronald Williams is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, but there's a flag on the play.
Thrown from the outside. Thrown from the outside of the field, which could indicate offside. Early indications by the Tiger Cat players is it is offside. That's just another sign of frustration.
Here's Ken Lazarus. You know, I saw Tyrone Rogers stomp the turf in frustration, and he got called again.
You know what, and you know, Mark, these guys have really played their hearts out. I know that they're on the bad end of a score right now, and Hamilton's moving, but they've got to get their offense cooking. Toronto does.
First and goal. Ticats. 3-man backfield. The handoff to Williams. Hit hard. Second effort, Williams. He's in. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. What an effort by Williams. Hit head on at the 2-yard line.
Well, you're right, Mark. This is all Ronald Williams. Look at this. He's met in the hole. Stood up. Fights him off. Stood up again. Fights him off.
That was very close. He just got the ball across with his hand.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I think that mark might be a little bit in Hamilton's favor as well, because it did look like Calvin Tagle kept him from crossing that line. We'll have another look at it, I'm sure, but again, what great effort, though, by Ronald Williams to just shrug off tacklers, would-be tacklers, and keep the legs driving. That's something, if you young running backs are out there watching, don't let the first guy bring you down. Keep those pistons churning, and you'll get great results.
The human bowling ball, Ronald Williams, with his second touchdown of the game and third on the ground this season, 9th of the year overall, and it was very close.
Well, you know, they got the defense there, you know, right now back. Now, he does a great job looking to get stuffed in a hole. Bam. Then he gets stuffed again. Now, you can see there, bam, again. But watch this. Now, freeze it right. Keep going a little bit more. Let's see if that ball actually crosses the line. It does not cross the line. There's the line right there. I think Calvin Tagle did a nice job of keeping him out of the end zone.
That's why there was a delay at the call. None of the officials were signaling touchdown. They set the fireworks off here at Ira Wynn.
I mean, in the referees, you know, defense, it is hard to call. You're not sure if the ball stretched over the plane. Your initial reaction is that it did. They don't have the, you know.
Ryan Terry tracked down immediately by Warren Muzica as we go to the sidelines in Scott.
Right, Mark. Here's Mike McCarthy, who runs personnel, finds the players for the Tiger Cats. 16 new faces from the Grey Cup champions. Are you pleased with how it's coming together, Mike?
Well, you know, we've had off and on games, and we have to be pleased with the young guys that come forward. You know, Nicholas Harper's playing corner for us. I think, you know, he's probably going to be up for Rookie of the Year from us, probably. Ivory, Kevin Brooks, Sean Woodson, Willie Fells. I mean, our whole team has changed, specifically on defense, and 16 new faces. You know, Gary, what's his name? Gary Brown. I forget. Gary Brown, left guard, is doing a hell of a job for us also. So it's been a difficult year in coaching. Ron doesn't like doing this, but we had to do what we had to do because of people we lost to the NFL and/or people leaving us.
Quick one about Willie Fells. He's playing with a cast on, and you've seen that before.
Yeah, I saw Willie on the Gridiron Classic in Orlando in the Nick Bonaconte Bowl, which is for spinal cord injuries. And when I saw Willie last December, he had a cast on his hand too. So he's kind of very happy with those things in his hands, you know.
Yeah, in any case, great job, Mike, and good luck to the Tiger Cats.
It's been a good game, hell of a crowd, and go Canadian Football League.
Yeah, and Mike McCarthy wanted to say a special hello to you, Chris Walby.
Chris,
he's done a great job retooling this team. How about the defense with 5 rookies on that defense? He lost 4 starters to the NFL. Now he's got another beauty going. Kerwin Bell is warming up on the sidelines as Kemp goes to work. It's incomplete, intended for Andre Kerwin.
Well, I think they got to do something. I mean, there's only 5 minutes left. They've been totally ineffective on offense all day. They've been less than 100 yards total offense. And you know what? You just can't keep throwing your defense in that situation where they're playing 3/4 of the game, because as you can see what happens, Danny Mack will take his time, but he'll break you. And he's got some big plays on him, and he's going to pound the ball with the big running back, Ronald Williams. And
well, 1 day to practice. Kerwin Bell in uniform and warming up with O.T. Sampson, the other Argo backup, on the sideline. And a big punt from Prefontaine. Corey Grant back at his own 15. Straight up the middle, and he's caught from behind by Andrew English, who pulls him down by the collar. Ticats on offense when we come back. Welcome back to Ivor-Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Look at this. In a decade, the Argos have gone through 8 different head coaches. Michael Clemens taking over right now. They're just 3 years removed from their back-to-back Grey Cup championships, and he has a huge rebuilding job to do. Likely will be looking at film tonight or early tomorrow morning as the coach of this team.
you know, some great names in there. Don Matthews, Adam Rita. You know, even Jim Barker last year I thought did a really nice job with the squad.
The Pinball saying that this game would be used as a measuring stick not only for his players but his coaching staff. He wanted to see how they did, give them free rein. And it's not been too good. Ronald Williams on the pitch out, and no game.
I got to tell you, Mark, you know, we've talked about this for the last quarter, and the defense has really come to play today. My hat is off to them. I think you can see they're leaving it out on the field. They're not taking it. They're not saving anything. They don't have to walk with their head down after this game. I think they've laid it on the line. The offense, for whatever reason, can't seem to get on track. You know, I'm very, very surprised. We talked about going into the wind. Yes, you're not going to throw the ball deep. But even when they had the wind, they didn't try and stretch the defense. You got these burners. They don't use them. I don't understand that.
Pinball will take off the pads next week in Winnipeg and be the head coach of the sidelines. Eddie Brown is supposed to take his spot on the roster. Vanis is complete to Darren Flutie for a short gain, but they'll be forced to punt. Well shy of the first down.
You know, as I'm watching behind the play, as we see, you know, Coach Pinball, Dave Hack is getting into it again. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, number 68, the Hamilton Tiger Cats right offensive tackle. You know, he just flips personalities like a light switch. Well, he and Dunbrack are just going at it, and you just got to love it. The game is basically 3:22 left. They're down by a ton. Dunbrack's still in there fighting, and Hack is loving it. I mean, you just can't buy this kind of entertainment.
He goes from a mild-mannered man during practice each week to a high priest and heretic of defensive football. Dave Hack.
He's almost like you when I took away your per diem that time when you came after me.
Who's going to argue with you, big guy? Ozzie standing at his own 15. And there are flags in the play.
Now defense broke the play, and I think they're going to call it.
3:04 to go.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 40.
Oh, Willie Fells.
Willie Fells playing on special teams, called for procedure. And now Osbaldiston will have to stand at his own 10.
You know, a lot of times on the punt team, you're not allowed to jack your head up and down to try and draw them offside. Every once in a while, you try and do that and just catch them, and a lot of times they'll jump when they get called, but this time it didn't, and Willie Fells got the penalty.
Back for the punt after this. 3:04 to go in this Labor Day Classic. And coming right up, we'll go to McMahon Stadium in Calgary for game 2 of our doubleheader. It's the Stampeders and Eskimos, and another sellout at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, a sellout here in Hamilton. Big crowd yesterday in Regina. It is a wonderful weekend in the CFL.
Oh, it's absolutely. I mean, you just love it. It's the greatest game out there right now. You know,
more movement on the line, more flags now.
Well, they're going to take a while to get this punt off. I think they're trying to run the clock off on this one play, but they just keep jumping back and forth, trying to draw the Argonauts offside, and they're jumping back up. And
Osbaldiston takes off his helmet, wipes the sweat from his brow, takes a breather. It's been a while since we've...
Well, we haven't seen him. He must have been running around the stadium doing laps, because he sure hasn't been on the field very long.
The officials conferring now. Pinball Clemens is the lone Argo back to receive this punt. Lancaster with another win, just 2:51 away, 35-11.
You talk about pinball, and you talk about pinball back on the punt here, and you said the one word, all alone back there to receive the punt. You know what, after this game, who sits with him? Can he sit with the players, knowing that full well he's got to look at the game film now? He's got to break it down.
Evaluate some players.
You know, this is going to be a tough situation right now. I mean, he's going to take the pads off, as you say. He's going to put the coach's hat on next week.
Leroy Blue, Scott talked to him on the sidelines. He's in town looking for a spot on the defense. And we also know that Orlando Steinauer, who was part of that Mike O'Shea trade, is back. He's back from Miami.
Where are you going to put Leroy Blue? This is what
Well, Leroy Blue, yeah, I mean, he's been a pass rusher in the past with Edmonton.
They got a great guy in Fred Perry, and Roger Dunbrack is playing very well for them. He's the leading sack getter with 5 sacks, and you can't take him out of the lineup either. So I guess they've got some real tough decisions to make this week.
So Pinball, the lone man, back to receive this punt. The head coach of the Argos in uniform here today for the last time at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Osbaldiston taking forever. 3 seconds left on the clock. He finally gets it away. Boots a line drive to the far sideline. Clemens chasing it. He'll let it bounce. Picks it up. Fells inside the 5-yard restraining zone. It'll be no yards on the play against the Tiger Cats. So Clemens plays that one wisely, drawing the rookie in for no yards as the Argos take over on offense. Back at Ivor Wynne, Lancaster, Ron Lancaster with a 35-11 lead, but not happy with the no yards call against Willie Fells. Again, another penalty that could have been avoided. Could be costly in a close game down the road.
He's the kind of coach that expects you to go the whole game and don't make mental mistakes, because it all shows up, and it may happen at a crucial time.
Kemp still at quarterback for the Argos, and he's sacked and dropped the rookie Mark Word along with Joe Montford. Montford will get credit for his 3rd sack of the game. And this is a very important win for the Tiger Cats, coming in 3 points behind the East Division leading Montreal Alouettes. So this will give them 13 now, just 1 behind the Alouettes. Winnipeg losing yesterday 38-29 to Saskatchewan. They're still in touch.
Well, and you know, Saskatchewan's fired up because they feel if they can win enough games, and if Toronto and Winnipeg don't improve, they can cross over.
The Argos don't blow a chance to get closer to Winnipeg here today. It's intercepted. Chris Schelling has the ball for the Tiger Cats. Breaks a tackle and he's gone. One last chance. Ryan Terry won't get him. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. And as Schelling celebrates, Mike Clemens is a lonely figure walking off in dejection with the Argos.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you hate to say it because, you know, the team is a team. Offense, defense, special teams, the 3 parts that make up any football team. And right now, the special teams has done all right, except having a punt block. But that offense, I mean, they might not take the bus back together. They might have a separate bus and put the offensive guys on it and say, you know what, you guys find your way out, and they won't realize there's only 3 wheels on that bus. They just don't want to take. I mean, this is
50-yard interception returned by Chris Schelling for the touchdown, and this is a rout.
What turned out to be a very close, intense game has really started to fall badly in Hamilton's favor. And
Jimmy Kemp going all the way so far at quarterback. Here's the interception.
Oh, he's just sitting back right down there, looking, sees the pressure. Montford's coming, but I mean, he tries to get a crossing route. But Schelling is sitting right there in the hole. Andrew English getting picked up. And the one thing about throwing interceptions, is that defensive linemen know that the quarterback is now fair game to block.
Look at that, more pressure from Montford on Kemp. He didn't even see the interception until it was all over.
And you know, Jim Kemp is not in any hurry to get up.
But let me tell you this, he had his chance today. After a week of practice, will Kerwin Bell play against his old teammates in Winnipeg next week?
I tell you what, if you're Winnipeg, buy some tickets, because that is going to be a great game next week. I mean, I can't see that, but you know, we're doing that game next week, so I can hardly wait. Kerwin Bell, the fans were booing him. They said, no, get him out of town. Well, he's coming back on a horse, a white horse, the Toronto Argonauts horse, and you know what? I very well can see him starting next week.
Pinball chewing on his mouth guard again. We had a look at Calvin Tiggle. What's going through his mind? 1 year ago, he was Grey Cup champion and most outstanding defensive player with the Tiger Cats. But as a free agent, he signed in Toronto this year. Osbaldiston, a high kick into the wind, coming down at the 31-yard line, taken by Clark, the rookie, and he doesn't get much real estate on that one. Argos back on offense.
It's easy to let the little things slide, but not your family's safety. So stay on track with Michelin MX4s from Canadian Tire.
Danny McManus, 4 interceptions, but 2 touchdown passes. Recovering from a shaky start. Looking pretty good in the second half. Montfort, 3 sacks today. Leading the league with 9.
The guys on defense, Hamilton's defense, they're just having fun now. You get to play all the games up front. You get to do your...
Jeff Cummins, the big pretty, he's all right.
He's got his little bathing cap on. He must be going for a swim after.
Camp still at quarterback, rifles this one for a completion to Daryl Mitchell right at the first down marker, but Mitchell pays the price as Mike O'Shea bears down on him.
Well, they've had the wind, 2 quarters of this game, and they have not gone over 15 to 20 yards throwing the football. That is a very big surprise to me. They have not tried this, to stretch this Hamilton defense vertically at all. I mean, you haven't had to see Rob Hitchcock. Maybe it's a respect thing with Rob Hitchcock. Maybe they know, but they need to go deep, my friend.
Kemp pulls up, rolling right, doesn't get much on that one, and it's incomplete. Mike Clemens and Tyrone Brown both within 3 or 4 yards of each other.
Well, right now, I think, in all honesty, the Toronto Argonauts are saying they're all looking at the clock, either visually or mentally, going, okay, tick, 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 let's get this thing over with. Let's just get back. Let's look at the film tomorrow. We'll have a rundown, and let's burn it.
But Mike Clemens will have some big decisions, as we've talked about, at quarterback specifically. Will he come back with Jimmy Kemp? Will he go to Kerwin Bell?
Well,
a quarterback he criticized heavily after he was traded 1 year ago to Winnipeg, saying he wasn't a team man.
But the only reason he criticized him is because he said that Kerwin was more interested in personal stats than team stats. But he was successful. He threw for over 5,000 yards that year. I mean, he'd welcome anybody throwing for 5,000 yards,
Yeah, the Argos could use some stats. There's Rob Hitchcock, a couple of big safety blitzes today to put more pressure on Kemp.
Let's go.
One of the top grinders on this team, a Canadian grinder, leading in special team tackles.
Oh, they play well on that. And you know what? Russ did a great interview with Mike McCarthy, and I just think it was hilarious, the fact that he picked up all these players.
Danny Mac always looking relaxed. Good day for him despite the 4 interceptions. Long punt, drives Amerson back. He bobbles the ball and drops it in the end zone.
He better get on it because it's a live
Marcelo
ball.
Simmons tried to recover it in the end zone and forced it out of bounds, out of touch. But that looked like a loss of concentration on the part of Amerson, who laughs it off.
Well, everybody's relaxing a little bit, us included. I mean, the game is basically a foregone conclusion at this point in time. And, if you're on the winning team, it's a lot of fun. You can kind of just get things going.
Ronnie's not relaxed.
Oh, no.
There's a minute 16 to go. He's got a 42-12 lead, and he's still directing traffic out there.
Well, the biggest thing, there's 2 things that are going to happen. 1, you can give up a big play. 2 is you can get injured. You start relaxing, the other team takes a shot at you, and you're not ready for it. So you got to stay mentally into the game sharp for the 60 minutes.
Ozzy's had a great game, working the wind with those low line drive punts and then taking advantage of the wind with some big sky hooks. Candidate for top Canadian on this Tiger Cat team, they say, this year, along with Mike Philbrook. McManus handing off. That's Jeff Johnson, the rookie out of York. Gets his first carry all time. A minute 12 to go in this one. And when it's over, we will go directly to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the Stampeders and Eskimos will kick off game 2 before a sellout crowd of this Labor Day Classic. McManus running the clock now. 2 seconds. 1 second he gets the ball off. Up the middle. Again, it's Jeff Johnson. He fumbles the ball, but it's blown dead. Contact with the turf. 48 seconds to go. 42. Hamilton Toronto 12. It's all over in Hamilton. We will go now to Calgary for part 2 of our Labor Day doubleheader. It's the Eskimos and Stampeders. Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter standing by at McMahon Stadium.